Upon his sudden reincarnation, our hero's first move was to completely invert every single one of his skills. He'd awakened a broken mirror world system, granting him the power to reverse any professional skill effect imaginable. As dimensional gates tore through the fabric of reality, endless hordes of otherworldly monsters swarmed human cities. Those touching the dungeons awakened hunter classes, allowing humanity to form legions and strike back at the abyss. Our protagonist reigned as a legendary captain, conquering countless dungeons before entering the ultimate SSS-Rank Rift. But triumph turned to ashes through betrayal. Fearing his overwhelming might, the Imperial royal family plotted his downfall. Powerful hunters could shatter the social order, and an SSS rank anomaly like him was the ultimate threat. Ro, the trusted brother-in-arms who'd braved death alongside him, became the architect of his sudden ruin. He trusted Ro with his back, yet the traitor secretly coated his armor with a lethal poison. Amidst Ro's cold laughter and the corpses of his fallen brothers, our hero's consciousness faded into darkness. Suddenly, the mirror system activated, sinking his soul underwater for 66 years, until a bullied boy appeared nearby, thrown into the freezing river. The boy's final thoughts screamed, "Why? Why does everyone treat me like trash?" That pure malice awakened the hero's spirit. In a flash, his soul seized control of the dying body. A blinding light erupted from the river's surface, sending the terrified thugs fleeing for their miserable lives. A new dungeon rift had suddenly manifested, a threat far beyond their level. Only one four-eyed kid hesitated, gritting his teeth. He rushed back to help, but the dungeon gate had already fully materialized. Monsters poured out instantly, having just awakened. Our hero prepared to unleash his first devastating strike in decades. Instead of a killing blow, a surge of green light descended, miraculously healing the monsters to full health. Four Eyes stared in disbelief, certain the protagonist was a total degenerate for actively restoring the monster's HP. The hero pondered his system interface. He'd forgotten this wasn't his original body, but one bound to the system. He'd also inherited this body's weak starter class. His past class focused on extreme combat stats, but he triggered mirror inversion during his final moments. He'd been imprisoned within the mirror realm until that boy's desperate screams finally shattered his eternal slumber. It seemed he had hijacked this boy's physical form to facilitate his legendary reincarnation. However, this host was pathetically weak, having awakened as a bottom-tier support class with zero offensive capabilities. It paled in comparison to combat classes. Our hero's gaze sharpened as he analyzed his new system window, hoping for a hidden trait. He targeted a monster, only for the system to flash a failure notification. He then targeted a reflection in the water. The system warned level insufficient for skill activation. His theory was correct. Mirror inversion could only be triggered through a reflective surface within the environment. Pivoting his strategy, he focused on the faint reflection shimmering on the monster's rusted blade. Again, the level insufficient error flashed just as Four Eyes reached his absolute breaking point. A massive shadow loomed as an elite boss monster emerged, plunging Four Eyes into the depths of despair, facing a threat that required a level 10 party. He realized their survival chances had hit zero. Suddenly, the protagonist stepped forward, casting mirror inversion directly onto the surface of the boy's shield. Ding cannot invert the skills of others. Our hero instantly grasped the limitation of his unique system. He immediately targeted his own vine control skill for inversion. Ding Mirror World Inversion Processing. The skill evolved into chaotic brambles, unleashing razor-sharp thorns that shredded the ground and trapped the monsters. Then, something bizarre happened. The elite monster's eyes turned blood red as it turned to slaughter its own kind. Its lethal claws instantly shredded its own kind in a mindless, bloody frenzy. The dungeon echoed with horrific screams. Four Eyes could only stare, paralyzed by the sudden, violent carnage. He couldn't comprehend why the hero, who had just healed them, was now orchestrating their annihilation. The monsters were devouring each other. Our hero grinned. His mirror world could flip any skill's nature. While vine control normally just bound enemies, its inverted form held a far more terrifying hidden power. The mere chance to bind had evolved into a guaranteed state of absolute madness and chaos. This useless support skill had transformed into a god-tier weapon of mass destruction through the power of inversion. Rage burns in his eyes. A support class, who cares? With his world-flipping inversion, he'll bathe traitors in blood. He triggers the inversion on his basic attack skill. Skill unlocked Blade Trickery. Every point of mana adds 10% attack. He loots monster drops, feasting on elite experience. To level up, it's a perfect loop. Every level up fully restores his mana pool. He casts Chaos Thorns. Blade Trickery triggers attack power rises again. 2 minutes in, his attack power has skyrocketed by 120%. One strike obliterates an elite. Four Eyes stares in pure disbelief. Is this really the weak, bullied Yunche he knew? The earth shatters. A massive claw emerges. The hidden boss awakens. A level 21 hidden boss. This exceeds all calculations. The protagonist launches his first devastating strike. Target immune. Four Eyes leaps forward, raising his shield to protect him. It mirrors his old comrades. Those who died shielding his back, but the shield crumbles. The lion boss sends him flying back. He rushes to his fallen friend, desperate to heal him. His healing is too weak. He tells Four Eyes, just stay alive. 1 minute. He'll end this in 1 minute. His gaze turns lethal. He harvests experience like a reaper. Blade trickery resets his energy. To kill a level 21 boss, he needs 4 to 100% power. Time is ticking. He must stack Chaos Thorns 40 times now. He pushes his limits, stacking buffs in a frantic blur. Level 12 achieved. Attack power surge to 510%. He strikes, piercing the boss's claw before unleashing 10 light slashes. The beast collapses in agony. Four Eyes stands frozen in shock. A level 5 support just soloed a high-level dungeon boss. How are you this strong? He ignores the question, asking their connection. He's his old comrade's grandson. The revelation hits like a physical blow. He thought Luo Wei slaughtered everyone. Were there other survivors? Even that bratty kid from back then left a legacy behind. At the museum, he reflects on a world he no longer recognizes. Half a century of slumber, and everything has changed. But one thing feels incredibly wrong about this new era. Usually, items like his Dragonbone ring are the only survivors. Most dungeon loot vanishes once the final boss is slain. Yet here, the air itself thrums with lingering dungeon mana. What happened while I was dead? He approaches the history exhibit. As the guide speaks, his entire body suddenly goes cold. Standing there is a statue of Luo Wei, the kingdom's greatest hero. History says he died a martyr, betrayed during an SSS-Rank raid, that the young Prince Luo Wei rose to crush the traitors. This hero is the real traitor. History is a lie. The real savior is branded an eternal sinner, a monster. And one question remains. Who exactly is this Ding Kun? That name wasn't in the guild registry back then. Suddenly, a familiar voice sneered from behind. Vantriette. You degenerate loser, you're actually alive. He saw the MC and Q tree still breathing. The thug Din Hook and his lackeys cornered the MC, throwing a mocking arm over Q Tri's shoulder. Lucky break. Huh. But your screw-up almost trapped us in that dungeon. How are you gonna pay? Q Tree tried to protest, but Din Hook glared him down. Look, traitor Q An is beneath the hero's boot. That's your ancestor as the descendant of a traitor. You think anyone will ever help you? Din Hook climbed up and shouted loudly. No one can ever defeat my great-grandfather. Ding Kon. The students buzzed with excitement. Din Hook's ancestor was the legendary hero who crushed the rebellion. How does a traitor's descendant dare insult a hero? The surrounding gossip drew the instructor over. He ordered Q Tree to apologize immediately. The hero spared your family. You should be groveling in gratitude. Humiliation burned within Q Tri. Din Hook laughed smugly while patronizingly patting his head. Even if I beat you senseless right now, no one would stop me. You're just a stray dog. As the punch flew toward Q Tri, a blur flashed forward. Asterisk, crack, asterisk. Caught completely off guard, Din Hook went down and ate dirt in a pathetic heap. The MC stood there with ice-cold eyes. Does a hero's family not teach their brats any manners? The crowd was frozen in shock. Has Vantriette finally lost his mind today? Attacking a hero's descendant in public, a level 5 support shouldn't survive Din Hook's retaliation. Din Hook scrambled up fuming, signaling his goons. But to the MC, they moved like slow-motion slugs. The MC landed 1 punch per person. Within seconds, the entire squad was laid out unconscious. He saved the best for Din Hook, raining down blows. Din Hook triggered Berserk for 25% extra attack. He couldn't believe a notorious degenerate was actually beating him senseless in front of everyone. Enraged, he gripped his flame mace weapon and swung it wildly at the MC. The MC sidestepped effortlessly, landing a devastating uppercut. Impossible. Din Hook wheezed before blacking out. Only then did the instructor finally snap out of his shocked daze. Insolent brat. Insulting a hero wasn't enough. Now you assault his bloodline. He brandished his staff. The MC tapped his bone ring. Instantly, a purple phantom materialized. Pulsing with dark energy, the staff shattered against the phantom defense. The instructor's face paled as pure terror gripped him. What kind of gear could block a high-level strike? The MC spoke with calm authority. You claim to be fair, yet you only listen to that pampered brat's lies. Are you just a guild lapdog stung by the truth? The teacher stammered about a proper investigation. He was rattled, unable to gauge the power level of the MC's mysterious equipment, suspecting a powerful hidden backer. Ifroza. The MC checked the durability of his bone ring. This level 21 epic drop wouldn't hold against a level 35 hunter for long. Time to leave. Fine. Consider us expelled. Without a second glance, he walked out with Q Tree. The crowd stood in disbelief. Was this really the same degenerate Vantriette they once knew, facing a teacher without a hint of fear? As they left, the MC's expression turned grim. Q Tree's ancestor was his old comrade, now branded a traitor like him. His allies' families were suffering. He turned to Q Tree, feigning a lack of history knowledge. Tell me, what's the official story? On Hero Din, Kong Kyo Tree eagerly began the history lesson. Legend says Din Khan was ambushed by the traitor Vantriette near an SSS-Rank dungeon. He crushed the rebellion and saved the city. That sword on the statue executed the traitor Vantriette. The MC clenched his fists until his knuckles turned white. Lies. He was the one who bled to save the city. That sword was his own stolen blade. Murderous intent surged in his veins. The first name on his revenge list was now locked in. Din Khan. I'll start the reckoning with you first. Outside the Ding estate. Guards prowl. One suddenly snaps his head around. Eyes sharp as a hawk, huddled in the shadows. George trembles, whispering they should bail before they're caught. The security is tight, even disguised. Ding Shu would sniff us out in a heartbeat. Rage burns in the main character's soul. He wants to end Ding Khan right now. But George warns he's locked in a high-tier hidden realm. No pass means no entry. Ding Shu must have the key. Why so much security for a mere descendant, he asks. They're just one of many descendants. Aren't they? George sighs. His voice heavy. They carry hero blood. Plus, they harbor a private hidden dungeon inside their manor. Vantriette freezes in shock. A private dungeon. Right under their roof. Yeah. The elite buy up low-tier gates. Without power. You can't even bid for one. Ding Shu levels up safely with elite guards while we scrap for crumbs. Normal students struggle in school dungeons while he feasts. It's rigged. He growls. The system is broken. Money and bloodlines dictate your max ranking in this world. George nods. Exactly. Most hunters peak at level 20 after graduation and stay there, without access to private gates. Their hidden stats remain frozen forever. Unless you land a government contract as a dungeon miner or ranger, maybe you'll hit level 30 by middle age if you don't die first. Even those family guards are level 30. They have the best resources available. To go higher, you need the military or the guilds. It's a closed circle. That's why a pass is everything. It's the only way to evolve my skills. Let's just go. The level gap is a goddamn mountain we can't climb. You're good. But you can't beat a level 30 guard. Vantriette suddenly realizes. My current stats won't cut it. I'm too weak to kill that hero for now. King Laui is out of reach too. But their detection skills. They have flaws. Eagle Eye and Spirit Summons have tiny ranges. They aren't invincible gods. They can't cover every inch of this estate. There's a hole in their net. This isn't a death zone. So they're getting sloppy. We're going in. George asks helplessly. Sloppy George gasps. But Triette knows better from his past life's hellish dungeon runs. He narrows his eyes. His voice turning as cold as ice. In a private dungeon. Nobody hears you scream. Murder is free there. Why hesitate? Triette grabs his collar. Don't you want to change your pathetic life? George wavers. I do. But I need to join a guild first. Then, maybe. A guild. For the traitor's grandson, wake up. George. He stands there confused. Your destiny is forged now. Not by some guild. But by your actions today. I'm not passing up this dungeon. I'm taking what's mine. Are you in? Decide. Will your bloodline remain degenerates? Or will you rise with me? George trembles. Caught between soul-crushing fear and a spark of newfound hope, I can't let him commit suicide. He mutters. But Triette signals for silence. No spirit summons detected. The guard's perimeter has a massive blind spot here. Triette grabs George and vaults over the wall, vanishing into the shadows instantly. We're actually inside. George stares in disbelief at their successful infiltration. A violet rift shimmers before them. What is that glowing purple light? The underground dungeon. High tier. But the mob count is extremely low. The Dings farm this place. Only 2 trash mobs left. Go take them out. George pales. Me, fight them, I'll be dead in seconds. Step by step, he climbed. Yet the yokai lunged. Kyuchi screamed. I knew we shouldn't have trusted you. He grabbed its neck, shouting. I never should have come. He struggled against the yokai's relentless counterstrikes. Cry louder. I'm going home, Vantriette mocked. Why don't you actually try fighting back? I have no opening, he barked. You promised I'd be safe with you here. Level 6, Shielder. Kyuchi crouched low, his eyes scanning the battlefield for a weakness. He bashed a yokai with his shield. sensing a rear ambush. He pivoted instantly to block the strike, leaning against a rock. Vantriette watched the struggle with a cold, calculating gaze. His talent is top tier, but his cowardice traps him in a purely defensive shell. Asterisk, however, his subconscious spatial awareness and positioning are flawlessly accurate. Not a single HP lost. Bon help, I can't hold this shield much longer. Many hunters stop here, lacking the raw courage to truly challenge their own limits. Wait. I leveled up. Vantriette explained that EXP distribution is based on tactical contribution. If you don't disrupt their stance, you won't get a fair share of the kill experience. Asterisk. His movements are becoming surprisingly fluid. Asterisk. Vantriette thought. Impressed by the sudden growth. How are you allocating your attribute points? Vantriette asked. Analyzing his teammates' potential. Mostly, agility. Except for mana. Don't shielders usually focus on speed to keep up? If I don't increase it, I'll never find a high-ranking guild to recruit me. No one wants a slow shielder. The mobs would be cleared before you even arrived. Think ahead. After level 60. Class advancement requires very specific attribute thresholds. A fortress rank needs 60 stamina and 90 defense. Don't waste points randomly. Normal people barely hit level 40. Level 60 is S-rank territory. That's impossible. Vantriette gripped his shoulder firmly. With a piercing gaze, he said, starting now, aim for S-rank. He emphasized with absolute conviction. No. Even higher than that. Beyond S-rank. Now. I must plan my own professional class advancement as well. Asterisk. As a support class, I rely on hidden skills and this mirror world to survive. System Shadow Monster Soul acquired. Skill EXP increased by 2,000 points. Asterisk. Wait. Can my mirror world actually level up and evolve further? Asterisk. A blade flashed through the air, decapitating a yokai. Blood sprayed across the ground. Notification: Trickster's blade active. Attack power boosted by 70%. The yokai tried to counter, but Vantriette was too fast. Still breathing. Not for long. The immense power faded as the skill ended. Asterisk. Trickster's blade duration has reached its limit. This skill is devastatingly powerful, but it's not suited for long-term wars of attrition. My stamina is low, but my leveling speed is far beyond any ordinary hunter. System character has received 2,000 experience points. Asterisk. Every kill provides a massive EXP boost to both me and my mirror world. Something felt off. He glanced at Vantriette, then dropped into a silent, tactical crouch. Asterisk. The patrol guards are increasing. Have they realized there's an intruder in the zone? Asterisk. The monsters are thinning out. Kyu-Chi whispered, his voice trembling with tension. If we push further, the risk of being caught will skyrocket. Asterisk. He's right. Balancing combat, stealth, and skill cooldowns is becoming overwhelming. Asterisk. Looking at this new skill book that just dropped. Ethereal Brick. Asterisk. I guess not every inverted skill is designed for direct combat. Asterisk. Mirror World is 30% to level 2. Its level 1 power is already broken. Asterisk. If I take down the hidden boss, I might jump straight to level 2. Asterisk. In any other dungeon, I might never get a chance to evolve this skill again. I need to check the central boss. Darkness swallows the area as spirit beasts begin to emerge. Vantriette focuses his mind. Summon Spirit Mouse. Summon Hawk-Headed Cat. Scouting skills are peaking here. He ducks behind a massive cliff, sensing a chaotic scene ahead. Heavy chains hang from above. Kyu-Chi whispers. The dungeon boss is being suppressed here. First time seeing this. Vantriette notes, school dungeons are strictly guarded and off-limits to students. Those chains must be high-tier gear. He stands frozen by the cliff, his mind racing with possibilities. There are too many guards. Striking the boss now would definitely alert the entire area. At my current ranking, killing the boss while surrounded is a suicide mission. Strike the guards first. System window, Phantom Blade, attack power plus 150%. Crippled status applied. Time for answers. You better speak the truth if you want to keep your life. The guard begs for mercy. Please, I'll tell you everything, anything you want to know. The Din family pay is trash. It is not worth dying for them. Vantriette watches coldly. Good. Tell me about the hero dungeon pass. The master has tons in his study. They are not even rare items. Must be a fanboy. He mutters. It is true, I have seen them many times. The pass is in the study. The master and captain are out on a mission, but it is a blank temporary card. Without a guide. You will be interrogated. Vantriette snaps, his voice low and dangerous. That is none of your concern. Empty your system inventory. Now he drags the guard out toward the Din family estate. Vantriette glares. Only one skill book. Do not even think about lying to me. I swear, the Dins are greedy. Every dungeon drop must be turned in immediately. We only get the scraps. All the legendary gear is kept inside the mansion. System window, lunar baptism. The guard points toward the inner manor. That is the inner house. Guards cannot enter without a direct summons from the family. Everyone there is level 30 plus with top gear. They do not really need our protection. Vantriette asks. So if I get inside? The pass is as good as mine. The headmaster is in there. His mental map charts the mansion and the dungeon. That man is level 42. You will not stand a chance against him. The other masters are level 50 plus. If they return now, you are dead. Entering means facing a powerhouse far beyond my current level. A true crisis. The guard faints. Qiuqi Vantriette's plan begins to take a decisive turn. Stay here. He smirks. I just need to lure that monster out. Massive chains bind the dungeon boss. High-tier restraints. I recognize this specialized setup. If the boss lives, the dungeon stays. The guards are here to protect the lock. A cautious setup. Assuming no one is crazy enough to risk death to unlock it, he silences a guard. I mastered these iron chains in my past life. A thunderous crash, panic erupts everywhere. What happened? What was that noise? He grabs the chains to draw the master out. This method is absolutely perfect. Emergency. The boss monster has broken free. It is completely out of control. Move it, all units. Enter the dungeon now. The guards swarm inside, in total chaos. Vantriette slips toward the manor. At the entrance, the butler bows to welcome guests. Welcome home. Second, young master. We have been expecting your return, bandaged and bitter. Din Hook snarls. Why is he greeting that guy with such respect? Vantriette just got lucky, Din Hao retorts coldly. I'm just passing through. The butler fawns. Miss Van Jia. Please. She steps out with elegance and supreme confidence. Din Hao reached out dismissively. Qiu bowed low, welcoming the elite to their grim morgue. Din Hao's face twisted in pure disgust. Without a word, he buried a brutal kick into his gut. Move. Din Hao growled coldly. He stepped over the broken man, leaving him bleeding on the floor. Qiuqi watched. Paralyzed by the cruelty, Vantriette suddenly appeared, asking, "What's the holdup?" Afraid of a few Din family degenerates, seeing his friend's pale face, he asked. Why the look? Qiuqi stammered. How did you get here? Vantriette gave a sharp, tactical breakdown. That boss monster is a level 30 field type. Capturing it alive is a fool's errand. They won't cage it for 30 minutes. He paused. Now, tell me what you saw. Qiuqi choked back tears, pointing. That's my uncle. He was being humiliated like a dog, ever since Van Keith's rebellion. Their entire clan had been marked for total annihilation. Yet, no family deserves to be crushed under the weight of such relentless public shame. Since that day, the Qiu family has been the Empire's favorite punching bag, under the shadow of the hero Din Khan. The systematic abuse had only grown more sadistic. They were reduced to house slaves, used as props to showcase the Din family's fake mercy. To survive, they had to crawl, begging for scraps while their pride was slowly flayed away. His parents tried to resist, his father went mad, and his uncle became their loyal hound. Qiuqi tightened his fist, trembling. Is entering this den of monsters really the right choice? Vantriette didn't hesitate. He stepped forward, eyes burning. We're going in right now. Qiuqi panicked. Din Hao's father is a level 42 hunter with legendary tier equipment inside. Vantriette stood tall, his aura radiating a terrifying calm resolve. In a world of gated dungeons, those who fear risk will never find the power to change. Hesitation is a slow poison. If you keep looking back, you'll never grasp the future. I can help you, but you must choose. I'm fighting. I won't force you to follow. Qiuqi's face drained of color. But they're a great guild. They own this world. Can we truly defy them? Vantriette entered a low dash stance, his voice cold as ice. He vanished into a blur, his final words echoing. My target is the entire empire. He streaked toward the manor like a comet, leaving only a shockwave and swirling leaves behind. Inside, Din Hao sipped tea, wondering how the boss escaped. Van Sa ignored the suspicious question. She offered to visit another time, her tone polite but laced with hidden meaning. Din Hao groveled instantly. A mere dungeon boss is nothing compared to a lady like you. My father and uncle are returning to handle it. We have more than enough power here. I've even contacted the hero. He's eager to meet. Vantriette listened from the shadows. Hero Din Cone. To enter a hero tier dungeon. I'll need a pass and a high rank guide, looking at how they treat her. This woman's status must be off the charts. Her surname is Van. Just like mine. Coincidence? Regardless. I need that dungeon pass first. Van Saw glanced at the balcony, sensing a faint presence. Suddenly, two maids bustled in. Once the coast was clear, he slipped out of the darkness, eyes scanning for threats, masking his face. Vantriette's sharp eyes scanned the room as he slipped through the door. Golden sunlight bathed the private library, illuminating rows of ancient scrolls and hidden knowledge. Outside, Din Ingak finally suppressed the boss. The beast roared as the chains tightened. This wasn't a random escape. Someone released it. But who would risk death for gear? Surround the manor, he barked. Search every corner. Nobody gets in or out. Don't disturb our guest. He added. Inside, Vantriette frantically searched the shelves for the item. Nothing. Where are the hidden stats? Suddenly, his hand glowed as a system window flashed. Skill-activated void phasing. You can dematerialize objects for 4 seconds. The hunt begins. Opening the drawer. A dusty yellow diary appears out of nowhere. Vantriette picks it up, his eyes widening in shock. A journal. High-tier skill books. Light of deceleration slows enemies within 20 meters. Perfect for priests. Chaos at the main gate. Qi hides. Watching guards swarm the area. Have they already been discovered? It is too dangerous. Guards are closing in. We must escape, now. A mother clings to her child amidst ruins as civilians flee in terror. The Ding clan is slaughtering everyone. He clenches fist, debating a retreat. Save himself. Or listen to Vantriette's words echoing in his mind. Make your own choice. Qi decides and lets out a scream. That cry alerts the guards, signaling the rest of the squad. Qi runs, drawing fire. Vantriette. Stay hidden. I'll be the bait. Beneath the mask, a cold smirk forms on his face. He finally chose to fight. I have the loot. Come and get it. Enraged, the guards roar. Chase him down, don't let him escape. Light of deceleration. 50 mana spent to slow nearby enemies by 20%. Dashing forward. Vantriette activates haste. 50 mana for a speed boost. Allies within 30 meters gain speed. Dingnak yells. Protect the boss. He is not fleeing, he is heading straight for the dungeon boss. Qi is stunned. Why are they all running back toward him? The guards are gone. The boss must be weak and vulnerable now. After that battle, its health is critical. One strike and the world levels up, while chaos reigns outside. The room remains eerily silent. Van Saw sips tea. The commotion is loud. Don't stay on my account. Ding Hao scoffs. It's just a thief. My brother will crush him. Ding Ingak roars through the crowd. Out of my way, move now. Protect the boss rogues and archers. Hunt down that intruder immediately. Ding Ingak nears. Vantriette calculates his level up attribute points. He has dumped half of his points into the agility stat, with passive buffs. Only level 30 archers could ever match his speed. From above, Vantriette eyes the sealed boss, surrounded by soldiers. Are they guarding it? Or afraid someone will steal the kill? It is at its weakest. One maximum power strike will end it. Intruder defensive formation. The soldiers snap into their combat positions. Vantriette triggers chaotic thorns. Lethal purple vines erupt forward. Panic sets in. What kind of skill is this? It is an abnormal status debuff. A masked guard cries out. Human resistance is low. They won't recover from this blow easily. He slams his staff. The ground explodes, scattering the guards everywhere. The proc rate is insane. Vantriette carves through the line. He blurs past the front line. More enemies mean a clearer path. He reaches the beast. Absolute chaos takes hold as the formation crumbles. He is here. Use crowd control. Where are the heavy tanks? Vantriette sneers. A pathetic mob with 0 combat experience. Has peace made you soft? A shieldman roars. Hold the line. A blue mana bolt streaks toward him. Vantriette dodged it in a heartbeat. He's cornered, the soldiers sneered. Din Jack arrived, barking orders to seal the trap. Hold him tight. Din Ingak armored up, his voice cold. I'll handle this brat myself. Axe is high. Din Ingak ignited his skill. Blazing charge surged right at Vantriette's blind spot, deflecting shield strikes. Vantriette's eyes gleamed with pure provocation. Is that all you've got? Vantriette's eyes flared. My level's too low to equip it. But I won't settle for basic stats. Level 60 durability. Huh, he tanked Din Ingak's massive fire blast head-on with a smirk. He calculated the impact perfectly. He'd use this brute force to shatter the seal, finding the sweet spot. Vantriette struck the Overlord's chains with lethal precision. Right on time. Thanks for the boost. Dingak's veins pulsed with pure, unadulterated rage. You bastard! Vantriette ignored him, slashing the boss. The Overlord's experience points were finally his. Victory. The Overlord's body shattered into 1,000 pieces as the dust settled. System windows flooded in. Level up +3, level 20 chanting unlocked, 9 stat points gained. Mirror World evolved to level 2. The skill experience bar filled and evolution was complete. Din Ingak's face twisted in fury. He lunged at Vantriette, screaming, "You little rat." Vantriette stood before the boss loot while the guild's hunters closed in for the kill. Swiping his system interface, Vantriette activated his newly evolved skill, Mirror World, level 2. Din Ingak's axe struck air. Vantriette vanished, leaving nothing but a lingering purple trail. The hunters stood frozen, eyes wide with shock. Did we just lose him? Inside the Mirror World, Vantriette materialized amidst a sea of distorted, shimmering reflections. Blue silhouettes flickered. Vantriette checked his system. Mirror walk, 29 minutes 51 seconds remaining. The world inside the mirror. Vantriette looked around, eyeing the spectral ghosts with intense curiosity. So, this is the mirror realm, he whispered, his eyes scanning the inverted landscape, an inverted reality. But these guardians seem like mere illusions. He reached for a cold crystal. Vantriette gripped a shard. Wait. This isn't an illusion. I can actually take this out. Level 2 allows physical interaction. My system interface must have evolved along with it. The status window popped up. Vantriette tapped the grayed out unawakened skills with curiosity. The system window flared, warning original body skills not yet learned. He pondered. This place displayed the inverted versions of every single skill he possessed. I need base skills first. Inversion level 1 was just a fragment of this power. This means I can handpick the ultimate skill combinations before I even learn them. Time to plan his next advancement. Suddenly, he spun around as screeching shadows swarmed the air. Souls. Other spirits existed here. And they were transforming into lethal, jagged weapons. So they've degenerated into soul monsters. Looks like a fight, Vantriette noted. He slashed through them with surgical precision. Coldly, he muttered. Weak. Not worth my time. A golden flash blinded him. Notification: undead contract available. Summon can be brought to reality. A contract I can turn defeated spirits into summons and manifest them in the real world. He processed the high-tier information, his mind racing with new tactical possibilities. Loot. Stones. Even undead summons. Mirror World level 2 was a massive game-changing power-up. This is getting fun. Meanwhile, Din Ingak's men waited. The dungeon closed. Where was he? How could he vanish like thin air? Is this some legendary hidden trait? A hunter shook his head. Impossible. Our detection skills should have tagged any active stealth, Din Ingak snapped, grabbing the hunter by the throat. Then explain it. Why is he gone? How did a whole guild lose one brat? Find him, or you'll pay for this failure. As the guild leader fumed, Vantriette materialized. Is my mirror walk timer up already? Will leaving trigger a warp? Or is there a hidden quest requirement? Vantriette appeared, and the boss's blood boiled. Kill him now, he roared. Vantriette calmly summoned a glow. Patience. You waited so long. So here is a gift. Meet my undead legion. The spirits swarmed Din Ingak's men. What are these demons from hell? Someone screamed. Don't panic, they're just low-tier undead, he barked. As his hunters were slowly overwhelmed, a system window showed they were only level 20. He snarled. I told you to stand your ground. Strike back, there's a massive bonus for whoever takes him down. He watched their greed spark a desperate frenzy. Then, Vantriette vanished, leaving them in total shock. By then, he had already slipped away. Lost in cold calculation. These summons are too weak. I need high-tier souls to truly crush these degenerates. I've bound the 20 strongest here. But this mirror world realm has its limits. Inside the mirror, I can only operate within a 200-meter radius. I must scout new zones within the mirror to find elite-tier undead for my army. Suddenly, Vantriette saw Kyuchi being brutalized. He was being hoisted up and interrogated. Think you can hide? There's a fat bounty on your head. And I'm cashing in. In a flash, he dove down and grabbed Kyuchi. Before anyone could react, they vanished into the shadows. Let's move. Time to head back and check our spoils of war. Armored hunters clashed with spectral beasts. With one decisive strike, a ghostly blue explosion cleared the battlefield. The system interface pinged, target neutralized. A voice grumbled nearby. These things aren't even strong. So why won't they stay dead? Dinghua sneered, his breath heavy with arrogance as he watched the chaos unfold. They're just summons. They need mana to regenerate. Just keep killing them until their master is empty. Ding Dan's low voice cut through the air. Has Lady Van Za returned yet? Inside the manor. Ding Can bowed in shame. Forgive me. Father. I couldn't stop her. The intruder was reckless. He didn't just escape. He caused a scene and mocked us. He even shattered the windows. Ding Dan's brow furrowed. He actually infiltrated my inner sanctum. You let him escape without even seeing his face. Pathetic. He bowed low in deep regret. But Lady Van X has agreed to enter the heroic secret realm. At least the alliance with the A family is still secure for now. Find that rat and send him to hell. Check if anything else was stolen. Elsewhere. Vantriette examined a rare entry pass to the mysterious hidden territory. He stared at the card. I have the permit. But I still need a guide for the heroic realm. No rush. Though. My raid on the Ding estate pushed me to level 20. The Chimera ring is trashed. But I scored a dozen rare skill books from his vault. Vantriette opened a magic tome. Sensing a powerful new support trait awakening. Skill learned War Song. Costs 40 mana. Drastically boosts critical hits while reducing defense for 60 seconds. He plotted his next move. These skills would perfectly supplement his growing hidden stats. Shield Song learned. Costs 40 mana. It trades critical damage for a massive 30% defense boost. I'll crush anyone at my rank. Passive skill activated. Permanent strength +3. The system interface flashed. Updating his stats as he prepared for the next evolution. He inspected the corrupt knight armor, a rare drop he'd scavenged from the previous lord. Most importantly, my mirror world has finally leveled up to level 2. My summoned army is growing stronger. But it's still not enough to reach the top, judging by that statue. The hero is likely an S-rank berserker class. I need a high-tier contract and must reach level 50 to take him down. Watching Vantriette sit in silence. Qiuqi trombled. Vantriette. Did those hunters lose our trail? A sinister smirk played on his lips. Relax. We shook them off, and our faces remained hidden. Vantriette tried to calm him. But Qiuqi's heart raced. You still feel that ominous pressure. He is just a kid after all. Qiuqi. Is there a realm where a legendary master died? He gasped. A graveyard for the strong, yes. I need a high-tier zone for a massive power-up. Qiuqi fell into deep thought before finally speaking with a heavy, cautious tone. Well, there is one such legendary site. His eyes flickered with a visible, nervous hesitation. But that is a restricted school dungeon. There is no way for us to sneak inside undetected. A school-locked realm, fine. I will just have to use some special, system-defying methods then. Kong Lai stared at the purple rare skill book. Stunned. Is this for me a vagabond skill? He coughed awkwardly. Realizing this kid Vantriette must have a powerful secret backer, he spoke slowly. The school realm is strictly guarded. I cannot just open the back door for you. Only graduates enter this dungeon. Underclassmen usually lack the high stats required to survive the monsters. However, for an elite talent like you, a teacher's special recommendation might grant you access. I will exert all my influence to secure that exclusive spot for you in the expedition. Meanwhile, inside the gate, students buzzed. This is a once-in-a-lifetime grind. I must farm every mob. His teammate grinned. Without the hero's legacy blessing, we would never have been granted this entry. They cheered for the hero. But Vantriette's senses tingled. Something about this dungeon feels wrong. Kong Lai continued the lecture. This is the hero sanctuary. A sacred gift to our prestigious academy. Legend says a great warrior fought here. His hidden stats and dropped items may still remain, while the others cheered. Qiuqi stood trembling in the corner, his face turning deathly pale. This sanctuary was actually the execution ground where the legendary hero struck down the traitor Qiu An. He glanced at Vantriette, his heart pounding. Should I tell him about this cursed bloodline history? Kong Lai warned them. The level is low. So watch your power. Xiao Ha. Guide the group. Hearing his assignment, Xiao Ha gritted his teeth. How can I level up while babysitting these degenerates? Kong Lai ignored the whining. The portal is active. Stop complaining and enter the dungeon now. Juniors are coming too. What a pain. Now I have to carry 2 extra bags of trash. Stay behind me and do not cause trouble. If you die, do not expect me to save you. Stepping through, Vantriette felt the mana. Level 20 to 40. Why does this feel so deadly? Darkness swallowed the area. Mana swirling like a storm inside the depths of the hero's sanctuary. Suddenly, the crowd began to whisper. Is that Van Yin? Why are the elite sisters here? Xiao Ha stared at them, drooling. Look, even the top-tier beauties have joined this dangerous raid. If those girls joined my party, it would be a dream. I would have all the motivation. He continued to fantasize. His eyes filled with greed as he watched the two girls approach. Wang Lin snapped. Dream on. They are level 30 plus. They are here to lead us. Idiot. That reality check instantly crushed his mood. Fine. Whatever. I was just joking around anyway. Despite his words, Xiao Ha could not stop staring. He froze as the two girls walked closer. Van saw. Wait. He stuttered. But they walked past him without a single glance of acknowledgement. Vantriette watched in silence as the distance between him and the girl closed rapidly. That girl from the Ding family. She has a high rank. Why is she targeting me now? Does she want revenge for Dinghu, suddenly? Van Yin's sweet, melodic voice reached his ears. I saw you at the memorial yesterday. Your skills were impressive. And your voice is quite distinct. Her sharp eyes sparkled with intelligence. Her voice cutting through the chaos like a cold blade. Memories of him shattering the museum window to escape flashed through his mind like a quest. Vantriette narrowed his eyes. She identified me from just 2 sentences. This girl is extremely dangerous. Van Am quickly changes her look, dropping a seductive parting word before vanishing. Van Sa swaps her gear too. We're exploring first. Their behavior is strange. He realizes it now. They know his secret but chose this indirect warning. Are they warning me Din Hook might recognize our voices at any moment? With my insane leveling speed, I won't have to worry for long. They showed goodwill. So, I'll return the favor. Vantriette's voice drops low. Stay sharp. This realm feels dangerous. Van Sa pause. Sensing something odd. With my rank, I'm fine. But thanks for the heads up. Kid. Onlookers sneer in jealousy. Is that really the cold-hearted goddess Van? Why is she so friendly to him? How does he even know her? The crowd swarms them. You guys know each other, introduce us. Man. Vantriette waves them off coldly. Sorry. We're out of here. Tuet Dung snaps. Going solo. These mobs are level 20 plus. You'll die. Tuha rushes over to stop her from causing a scene. Let them go. Anyone tight with Van Sa isn't some low-level weakling. They freeze in shock. But Teacher Lai's orders. How can they be strong? He growls a sharp reminder. Don't forget why we're actually here. Rare crystals aren't for sharing. The less they know, the better for us. They have emergency flares anyway. Stop babysitting them and move out. He's seething inside. How can an ordinary kid know a star like her, if he's that reckless? Let him de-ins. Pink mist coats the realm entrance. At the gate, Bak Hai stops Din Hook. What are you doing here? Din Hook corners him. Did a team just enter? Bak Hai nods nervously. Hearing the truth, Din Hook's eyes burn with a bloodshot. Lethal rage. 2 names haunt his mind. Vantriette and Qiu Qi. He remembers the warning. Don't blame them just because you lost at the museum. His father barked. I don't have time for your petty grudges, Din Hook screams. It's them. I know their voices. His sanity is slipping. Huck. Listen to me. No mere student could slip past all our elite guards like that. Prove they've got that kind of power. Or I can't help you. Enough. We have a mission to focus on. Get lost. Kid. Those words echo. He grabs Bak Hai's collar. Did those 2 enter? Inside the dungeon. Vantriette's blade dances, carving through demonic mobs. 1 lethal strike to the vitals. And another monster is sent to hell. Vantriette fires a massive mana blast at the giant eye monster. It counters, reflexes kick in instantly. Qiu Qi. Shields up. Now. System window, protective barrier activated. A translucent wall shimmers into existence. Qiu Qi roars, triggering his support buff, encouraging shout. System attack and speed increased by 5. Vantriette lunges at the eye. Vantriette raises his blade. 1 devastating slash. The beast is split. Magic blade, 7 seconds left. Level up Vantriette. Level 21. Spellcaster. Qiu Qi cheers wildly. I leveled up too, finally. Level 11. Vantriette ponders. Those skill books he borrowed from the Din family. Shield and encouragement were the perfect traits for Qiu Qi's growth. These mobs are high level, but with a tank support. This is easy. The instructor mentioned it, a rare spawn in this dungeon called the Glintstone Beast. Slaying it offers a slim chance to drop a support skill. Gravity manipulation. Checking the Mirror World skill list paid off. I stared ahead, thinking of glintstones and the undead. Where did those top-tier rankers fall? I hoped to find some high-level remnants. My eyes widened in shock. A massive boss monster, clad in heavy armor, suddenly appeared. I froze in realization. Is this location where we're standing actually the Star Pillar Valley? Looking down from the precipice, I wondered why so many elite-tier glintstones were gathering here. They've migrated over 1,000 meters. Far beyond their programmed monster activity zones, are they wanderers? These rare dungeon deviants roam freely instead of staying at fixed spawn points. Their combat power is on a completely different level compared to standard monsters. Back when humanity was weak, encountering a wanderer meant a bloody, desperate struggle for survival. They even wandered into the real world, triggering catastrophic dungeon breaks and endless slaughter. However, higher risk means massive EXP and item drops that far surpass normal hunting. In an instant, I closed the distance to test my strength against this powerful glintstone beast. When the opening appeared, I unleashed a decisive strike, putting my full resolve into the blade. To my surprise, the monster possessed a regeneration trait, healing its wounds almost instantly. A continuous healing skill. I fired dual mana blasts, but they countered with a barrage of lightning. Despite Kyuchi's protective barrier, the relentless magical assault managed to land a direct hit. Their attack speed is insane. I felt uneasy facing such a high volume of rapid fire. My defense stats are too low. Without Kyuchi's shield, I'd be facing a fatal injury. Pushed into a corner, I decided it was time to activate my undead summoning skill, but even the summoned undead were being pulverized by the glintstone's overwhelming raw power. This isn't working. Even my undead summons can't tank this kind of damage. Their movement is slow, but I can't buff my HP and defense fast enough to win. To defeat these monsters, I must rely on Kyuchi's defensive evolution after he levels up. I immediately gave the order. Kyuchi, let's go grind some low-level mobs to rank up first. Shortly after, we reached a zone filled with lower-tier monsters, perfect for farming. I calculated the spawns I saw earlier. These mobs are perfect fodder for his level-up quest. In any elite party, the shield-bearer is the vital first line of defense for the casters. From that point on, I had Kyuchi dump every single attribute point into his defense. With that guard's helmet I looted. He finally has the core stats of a professional tanker. He's now capable of successfully blocking heavy physical attacks from monsters up to level 20. Noticing a flaw in his form, I corrected. Lower your center of gravity and stand firm. He adjusted instantly, slamming his shield forward and delivering a heavy blow to the monster. He was thrilled to see the shield's durability was holding up much better than before. I shouted a warning as another monster lunged, catching him off guard from the rear. He took the hit, but I surged forward immediately, severing the creature's arm in one swipe. I warned him sternly, always stay alert. Keep your movements tight to react to the next strike. Stay vigilant, but keep your body relaxed. Only tense up at the exact moment of impact. I patted his shoulder. I'm behind you. As a tanker, you must always track your allies. Kyuchi nodded with newfound understanding, a confident smile spreading across his face. As we parried together, I reminded him, when power levels are close, technique dictates the victor. Finally, the two of us completely wiped out the entire horde of elite monsters. A notification flashed. Level up, name Vantriette. Class Incantator. Level 22. I looked at Kyuchi with pride. Now, he can finally face our enemies head-on. The shared experience points surged, flooding us with power. A wide grin broke across his face. Finally, I've reached level 15. Name Kyaoji. Race human. Level 15. Class Shield Bearer. He clutched the shield armor skillbook, eyes gleaming. It was finally time to master it. Shield armor, a defensive skill that manifests a secondary layer of reinforced plating over the user's existing shield. He mastered the new skill instantly. Nearby, Vantriette remained deep in thought. That skillbook he'd looted from Ding was the final piece Xiaoji needed. By reinforcing his summon shield with this extra layer of spectral defense, his physical defense stats would skyrocket. It would be more than enough to tank those elite-tier wandering monsters. High on the nearby ridge, Lai Li, Lian, and Zhuangzheng watched with growing anxiety. Those monsters were a serious threat. Why are there so many elite-tier monsters here? Where did they spawn from? This is a death trap for students. We have to clear them out now. Lian's voice was tight with tension. We can manage standard level 30 mobs, but taking on these elite vagrants is a different story. Suddenly, a flare ignited across the canyon. A student distress signal. Zhuangzheng surged forward, his face grim. We need to move. There are students trapped over there. We have to prioritize the rescue. But Lei En hesitated. If they left this area unguarded, roaming monsters might ambush unsuspecting students. Lei Li scanned the horizon and spoke firmly. I'll stay behind. We can't leave this flank exposed. Just in case. Zhuangzheng nodded in agreement. All right. Old Bai stays. If anything happens, Before he could finish, Vantriette cut him off. Leave this to us. That distress signal means the other group is already facing vagrants. 2 professors won't be enough for a rescue. Zhuangzhang looked skeptical. But Vantriette remained calm. These monsters have low agility stats. They haven't detected our presence yet. If we keep our distance and observe, we'll be perfectly safe. Trust me, just go. Professors. After a tense moment of hesitation, the 3 teachers decided to put their faith in his words. Fine. But these creatures are lethal. Do not engage. Stay hidden at all costs. If they spot you, you won't stand a chance at escaping. Vantriette smirked. You have it backwards. They're the ones who won't escape. Vantriette lunged from the shadows, blade flashing as he struck. Like I said, there's no escape for them. He pivoted mid-air, unleashing a concentrated burst of mana at the next target, lurking behind him. Zhao Ji deployed his shield armor instantly, using his summoned undead as a decoy. Vantriette blurred across the battlefield. The summon shattered under the pressure. But it bought enough time. Vantriette rained down a flurry of critical strikes on the monster. Tsk. The monster's physical resistance was insane. His blades barely scratched that thick. Reinforced, hide. Almost there. Spinning 360 degrees. He poured everything into one final strike. Bisecting the massive beast, silence fell as the dust cleared. The elite monster had been successfully neutralized, but he wasn't satisfied. 1 vagrant down. He was finally adjusting to this class. But he was still leagues behind his past life prime. He didn't stop, unleashing a whirlwind of devastating slashes into the heart of the approaching monster pack. By layering his inversion skill with his attacks, his damage output reached terrifying levels. But my base support stats are still too low. I need a way to permanently boost my raw offensive power. Another kill. Another golden glow. Level up. His theory about fast-tracking his growth was proving correct. These rare elite-tier monsters were absolute gold mines for experience points. A system window flashed, collect loot. Vantriette approached the remains, his eyes widening as he saw the drop. An offensive weapon, it was a crystal blade, boasting a massive 552 attack power bonus. Perfect. This was exactly the boost his base stats needed. The real hunt begins now. Still, he frowned. The gravity pull skill book he wanted hadn't dropped. The RNG in this zone was brutal. If only I could get a bit more lucky. Maybe a few more vagrants. Suddenly, a crimson light pierced the sky. Wait. That's the same location as before, but this wasn't a student flare. That specific red hue was a Priority 1 emergency signal reserved for the faculty. Back at the scene, Zhuangzhang was drenched in sweat, his shield trembling under the relentless onslaught. How are there so many of them? They were completely surrounded by a massive horde of colossal vagrant monsters. They were pinned down in a narrow cliff crevice. Just then, Van Sa and her squad arrived on the ridge above. Look at that swarm. What on earth happened down there to draw this many? A dark-haired man with a hawk-like nose stepped forward. I'm not sure. We just followed the signal to provide backup. He gestured toward the far side. The signal came from that cave. They're trapped inside. The survivors are barely holding on. We need reinforcements. But the monster swarm is endless. Terrified, the instructors begged for Yunsa's divine intervention. Just another day at the office. She smirked, channeling her mana into a powerful spell. Secret art, celestial play. Brilliant starlight instantly flooded the dark cavern. System alert spirit increased by 2. Attack power boosted by 20%. An epic tier skill. The crowd roared as gravity pressure forced the monsters to their knees. Yun struck from the shadows, eliminating the stragglers with his hidden blade. Incredible. With this kind of power, the rescue mission was finally possible. Yun Che watched from above. Their gear and skills were undoubtedly top-tier rankings. They can handle this. But what's drawing so many monsters to this specific location? He turned to George. Stay with them. I'm going in for a look. Activating Mirror Walk, Yun Che slipped into the reflection to scout the area unseen, standing atop a crystal. He calculated his moves. This entire world is a mirror. He recalled his previous experience with this unique awakening skill. The exit mechanism is still a mystery. After the Ding family incident, I couldn't re-enter. Humans cast shadows here, but monsters don't. They aren't truly alive in this space. Yet, their physical bodies clearly exist in the real world. Is everything in this mirror dimension intangible? He ventured deeper into the abyss. He spotted a familiar face, Xiao Xie. They're acting as bait to gather the swarm. The narrow terrain protects them for now. But their luck won't last forever. What could be hidden inside to attract such a massive monster horde? An eerie blue glow beckoned. These crystals are distorting my sense of direction. Suddenly, he froze. No way. Is that what I think it is? He touched the jagged stone. Specialized mirror crystal ore. So, that's their goal. These are rare drops, found only in the most dangerous hidden realms. Life-class hunters could use these to craft legendary tier accessories and gear. This vein is worth a fortune. As his fingers brushed the surface, system alert mirror crystal ore detected. Collection initiated. Items can be extracted. Take them back to reality. Yun-Che stared at the system window. Stunned, he placed his hand on a massive cluster. Could it be? A smirk crossed his face. Any mirror surface acts as a gateway back to the real world. He began harvesting the loot. This skill has hidden traits I've yet to master. With his inventory full, he pressed onward. The investigation wasn't over yet. He entered a narrow passage. The concentration of ore here is absolutely insane. Clearing this mine would turn a degenerate into a billionaire overnight. This is why the monsters are frenzied. Meanwhile, Yun-Sa unleashed another gravity pressure. Yun-Am's twin blades danced, shattering the massive boulders, blocking the path. Celestial rain. The onlookers gasped, are all their skills, epic tier. Their destructive output far exceeds even the veteran guild hunters. A devastating crescent slash tore through the wall. The barrier finally crumbled. We're saved, the prisoners cried. I really thought we were dead meat. Stay sharp. Yun-Am warned. We're low on mana and still need to escape. Yun-Sa adjusted her hat with a confident grin. The hard part is over, but she suddenly froze. Her golden eyes flared with alarm. Yun-Am turned deathly pale. A tide of monsters is swarming toward them like ants. Everyone is screaming in pure terror. Is every single wanderer in this hidden realm converging on this one spot, inside the mirror world? Phantom slashes suddenly erupt, shattering the blue crystals hidden behind the jagged rocks. The labyrinth crumbles as glass shards rain down. Suddenly, Vantriette's eyes widen. He's found it. He looks up to see a massive, radiant crystal pulsating with an otherworldly glow. Vantriette stares intensely. Could this be the ultimate secret hidden within this realm? If ordinary minerals are common loot, then this core is the dungeon's only true hidden treasure. A hidden treasure is the concentrated essence of the realm, nurtured over an unknown eternity. Most hunters never see one in their lifetime. Each treasure grants a unique, godlike power. Mirror Soul Core. Rank null. Type hidden treasure. Unique item. Vantriette smirks. It boosts base stats while granting massive elemental damage reduction. That HP boost is insane. And the mana regen will let me stack my phantom blades indefinitely. More importantly, it cuts all incoming light and lightning damage by 20%. Percentage-based damage reduction is incredibly rare in this world. Even top-tier gear rarely has it, let alone as a passive equipment bonus. He pauses, puzzled. If these crystals attract wanderers, then something is wrong. A treasure of this level should be guarded by a boss far stronger than these mobs. Vantriette taps the system interface. Use the treasure and get out. Select Use or Collect. Warning. Using this item consumes 10 minutes of mirror walk time. Do you proceed? Outside. The party is trembling, drenched in cold sweat. Van Sa and Van Am watch in horror. The earth splits as a mountain of flesh emerges from behind the monster swarm. It's a Wanderer Lord, a hidden boss that exists independently from the dungeon's main ruler. Its power dwarfs a standard lord. No student or teacher here can hope to match it. Panic turns to rage. These lords shouldn't appear in a mid-tier dungeon like this. We're all going to die. Van Sa's lips tremble before she finally finds her voice. She screams at the top of her lungs. Stay calm, we must cooperate to escape, pointing toward the canyon. She yells. There, that's our only way out of this valley. Once we clear the valley, we're safe. She activates her astral travel technique. Don't hold back, give it everything you've got and break through that line. Trang Chin unleashes his power in agreement. We have to get these students out, donning his heavy armor. He charges. I'll take point, rotate positions, and strike. Explosions rock the valley as black smoke chokes the sky. Healers scramble to support the front line as the tiny group battles the Titan. The Wanderers aren't just fodder, they're launching a brutal, coordinated counterattack. Hold the line, suddenly. The Wanderer Lord lets out a deafening rallying cry. The monsters instantly halt, turning as one to obey their lord's command. Thousands more pour in from the ridges. Where did they all come from? The Wanderer Lord's eyes ignite with a terrifying, crystalline aura. A massive magic circle appears. Monster HP. Attack. And defense surge by 20%. The hunters gasp in horror. Their power. It's spiking. How is this possible? The damage is too high. We can't heal fast enough. A blast of light strikes a hunter. Help me, a student wails. The teacher. The teacher is dead. Van Sa pivots her strategy. Shield bearers to the front priests. Focus all healing on the tanks. She grits her teeth. They're exhausted. And the Lord hasn't even joined the fight yet. Suddenly, one of the survivors cries out. Damn it, there's no way through at this rate. He triggers stealth ***. Vanishing past the front line, gritting his teeth. He mutters. Every man for himself. He bolts. Slipping past the massive feral beasts, Drang Qin throws out an arm. Shouting to the panicked crowd, Wanderer classes. Don't follow him. Your stealth ***. Duration won't last until the exit. Mid-dash. His invisibility, *** flickers and dies. Exposing him right before the towering monsters. Drang Qin gasps. Eyes wide with horror. The roaming overlord locks on. Jaws agape with gathering energy. A devastating beam erupts toward him. Someone screams. Look out, get down! Drang Qin watches in disbelief. The overlord's blast instantly vaporizes him into nothing but ash. Pure carnage. The swarm of feral beasts shows no sign of thinning, there's just too many. A survivor points trembling fingers ahead. The impact has triggered a massive canyon collapse. That firepower is insane. We're doomed, once more. The roaming overlord begins charging its deadly maw. He glances back. Face pale with pure, unadulterated dread. It's coming for us. We can't hold. Suddenly, Sa Yin and Sa Van surge forward. They slam their shields down in unison ***. Colossus shield. ***. Mountain fortress. ***. Their defenses are legendary. Even the overlord's shockwave fails to budge their iron wall. Yunjia spins around, screaming. Anyone with high STR, get over here. If this falls, we're dead. Sweat pours down her face. This level 70 gear is tough. But the pressure is immense. But the level requirements are too steep for the others. It's too heavy to move. They're only buying time. Behind the shields, the hunters' faces are drained of all color. Why is a rank S beast in a school dungeon? Drang Qin strains against the shield. Eyes darting. This is your fault. He grinds his teeth. Was every sacrifice to save them all for nothing? At the very least, those two kids should be safe from this nightmare. Right. Drang Qin looks back and spots Qiu Qi bracing a shield. Wait. He's just a student. I told them to wait in the valley. His lapse in focus costs him, the shield shatters. Look out, Drang Qin screams. Instantly, Qiu Qi mana surges to manifest a fresh barrier. The feral beast's energy beam slams into the barrier. Inches from Drang Qin's face, blood sprays as a stray bolt pierces his shoulder. The perimeter has completely collapsed. No one's left to stop the swarm. He rushes forward to shield Drang Qin. Eyeing Qiu Qi. This kid. He has this kind of power, but the Guardian's shields are all trashed. He's sent flying backward. Their total defense has been utterly decimated. Qiu Qi hits the dirt. Blood streaking his face. It's over. There's no turning back now. Suddenly, Yunche enters the fray. His blade dances, carving the beast into ribbons. Drang Qin finally lets out a ragged breath, shrouded in starlight. Yunche smirks. Good job, Qiu Qi. He raises a hand high. Yunche flashes a confident grin. Leave the rest to me. Moments ago, in reality, Yunche stood before a glowing emerald core crystal. He mused, if the mirror world has a duplicate, the original must still exist in reality. With this mirror world, his loot will double, but extracting these crystals won't be easy. ***. System warning. Forced exit from mirror world imminent. ***. Select items to extract. ***. Every unit costs 10 minutes of mirror world travel time. ***. System. Please select your desired action. Yunche selects the ***. Mirror core. ***. He'll take the most valuable duplicate first. ***. System core and mirror core, synchronized and activated. Suddenly, the world shudders. Rocks tumble as the ceiling cracks. What's with this tremor? Yunche bolts. Did something break? I need to check the mirror world portal. Vantriette plunged into the mirror dimension. A system alert flashed. Mirror walking initiated. He realized with a grin that he could phase in and out until the timer expired. Only after the entire duration was spent would the skill enter its cooldown period. He vaulted over jagged rocks and flickered back. You have exited the mirror dimension. Thousands of monsters swarmed ahead. Vantriette frowned. The monster density was spiking unnaturally. Crystal bait couldn't explain this horde. Suddenly, a massive presence loomed stronger than any wandering lord. This was the source of that chilling, primal sense of impending doom. He charged, thinking of his allies. If he mastered this phasing mechanic, he could win. Just as the beast swung a massive fist, Vantriette vanished back into the mirror. He repositioned in the void and blinked back behind the monster's guard. This invincibility frame made dodging effortless. Level 24. He noted. Slashing through mobs. Mana 140. Regen 2.6 per second. Secret treasure +5. Attack power surged to 330%. Trickster blade active, 8 seconds remain. His eyes turned cold and sharp. The pressure was mounting rapidly now. This wandering lord dwarfed hidden bosses. He needed level 30. He phased back in, streaking toward his allies. He materialized and obliterated the monsters surrounding Kyuchi. Nice work holding the line. Kyochi. Vantriette said. Blade still dripping. Kyuchi gasped at his savior. Vantriette barked. The rear guard is mine. He became a ghost. Flickering between worlds to execute lethal strikes before disappearing again. Buff me now, I'm going to resolve these degenerates once and for all. Vansaw didn't hesitate. Chanting rapidly to trigger her Star Trick support magic. Kyuchi raised his shields. Buff synced spirit +2. Attack +20%. The monster tide was relentless. A literal ocean of claws and teeth. With the secret core active. His HP tripled, and damage resistance rose 40%. Too bad they're immune to chaos. He muttered. Or this would be over already. The survivors watched in stunned silence as he carved through the impossible horde. Am I dreaming? One stammered. His status says chanting. But look at that damage. How can a caster have physical stats that break the ranking tiers? Trangchin breathed a sigh of relief. What is that phasing skill? He's a monster. He felt foolish for worrying. Vantriette was a whirlwind of steel and system sparks. Ding, level up, keep 'em coming. Vantriette smirked. This is a goldmine for XP. Vansaw watched. Her heart pounding. Her perception of the thief shattered instantly. She thought he was just a gutsy scavenger. But his power was truly legendary. Van Am remained silent. Her gaze fixed on the boy who defied all logic. Flash. Strike. Vanish. He hit level 28 as the monster count plummeted. Is he elite guild reinforcement? A hunter cried out in awe. No. Trangchin replied. Eyes wide. He's just a student. The group froze. A student? No way. Suddenly. The boss roared. Gathering a terrifying purple energy. Look out, it's charging. A devastating beam of light tore through the battlefield. Vantriette felt the pressure. This boss monster was finally moving toward them. Once it closed the distance, their dual shield formation would crumble like paper. Move now, Trangchin commanded. The path is clear. We need to break through. If that wandering lord reaches us, it's over. No one can tank that alone. We can't move the shields fast enough, the hunter screamed, in pure desperation. If we break formation, that boss will incinerate us all in one shot. Precisely. Moving turns us into sitting ducks. These massive shields, only manageable within the system inventory. While the crowd froze in terror, one hero stepped forward. Leave it to me. Vantriette declared, standing tall as their shield. He shouted. I'll take the aggro. I'll lure it away, run. Now, Trangchin felt a surge of gratitude masked by pure dread. We escape. But what about you? Triette wasn't just being brave, he was calculating the future. If this roaming lord isn't neutralized, it'll lead a monster horde straight into the human world. History's most devastating catastrophes were always triggered by these legendary roaming bosses, with eyes like cold steel. He replied. I'm staying to kill it. System time blade, 7 seconds remaining. Mirror walk duration, 5 minutes and 41 seconds left. Trangchin barked at the survivors. Move now, even a powerhouse has limits against a lord's army. We must vanish quickly so he has a window to escape. A survivor stammered. But didn't he say he'd slay that monster? Trangchin seahed. That was just to ease our minds. It's a roaming lord. For God's sake, Kyochi-han. Teeth clenched in self-loathing. I'm pathetic. Just running away again. Vantriette. Don't you dare die. Meanwhile, Triette was dancing through a storm of monsters. His experience bar ticked upward with every lethal strike, as a beast lunged. He slipped into the mirror dimension, reappearing instantly to deliver a crushing blow. But this mountain beast was a fortress. Triette's expression darkened. Damn it, its defense is insane. These shallow wounds heal faster than I can carve them. He glared at the behemoth. It was time for a desperate gamble. The mana stone on its head, that's the core. My current output just isn't enough. System notification, Star Haze Secret Art, 5 seconds remaining. He calculated his odds. The party buffs were fading fast. Mana is bottoming out. I can't sustain the time blade. I need a level up. Now, suddenly, a blinding violet light erupted in his vision. The monster had predicted his move. He dived back into the mirror dimension. It read my exit point as he phased back. The beast's palm slammed down with tectonic force. System alert health reduced by 50 points. He braced himself through the agonizing impact. It's a wide range. Multi-hit skill. I'm trapped. Mirror walk was draining. If I keep dodging, I'll be empty in seconds. Status Mirror Walk. 3 minutes 46 seconds. He summoned his undead to tank the blow, but resummoning drains mana. I won't have anything left for the finishing move. Suddenly, a massive shield slammed down, protecting him. A tactical retreat. Vantriette gasped. Kyo Chi. Van Saw and Van Am were back. You guys, why? Van Saw Schmierkit. Your little lackey begged us so pathetically. We had to come back. Kyo Chi grumbled. I didn't beg. Besides, the mob counts are finally dropping. Vantriette gave a faint smile. Thanks. Van Saw warned. This hidden boss is still a nightmare. Let us cover you while we retreat. Vantriette felt a surge of renewed power. No need. With your support, I can stop holding back. System alert level up. Status window Vantriette. Level 30. A violent aura exploded from his body. Level 30 reached. Requirement met. He equipped the corrupted knight's armor. Van Saw gasped. You're going for the head. At that height, it's impossible. Vantriette ignored her. Opening a skill book. The final piece of the puzzle is mine. Skill info gravitational pull lures targets closer. Skill evolution reverse gravity launches the user toward the target. Found it. This is it, my grapple skill, buffing the phantom blade. He smirked. Relax. Everything is under my control. Vantriette reached toward the beast's massive skull, instantly activating his gravitational attraction skill. The skill yanked him forward, closing the gap until he reached the monster's exposed cranial core. Van Saw and Van Yin watched in shock as he unleashed a relentless flurry. The boss shrieked in agony. Suddenly, the monster erupted with a violent surge of chaotic mana. Alerts blared as his HP plummeted by 107. Ignoring the pain, he poured everything into the core. The crystal shattered, System Wandering Lord defeated. You have earned 5,000 experience points. New title Wandering Slayer. Dropped legendary skills, Golden Membrane, and Angel's Protection. The group stood frozen in awe. Kyo Chi finally spoke. Vantriette. His strength is truly on another level. Van Saw whispered in disbelief. Did he really just solo a high-tier monster like that? Standing atop the corpse, he muttered. A legendary drop, I didn't expect that. 2 items dropped. But the dying beast lunged for a final strike, forcing Vantriette to dodge midair. Careful, those below screamed. The monster is collapsing. Vantriette. Get down from there. He sprinted down its back as a massive tremor shook the cave. The Wandering Lord crashed into the earth. As the dust settled, Vantriette's eyes caught something unusual in the shadows. Deep within the hollow mountain lay a hidden cave entrance, stretching into an endless, pitch-black void. Leaping for a better view, he found human remains. He landed on a crag, his gaze fixed upward. It seems an even deadlier Wandering Lord was born in this place long ago. This explained the brutal scars of war. High above, a solitary figure gripped a sword driven into the ground. The system window flickered to life, displaying the figure's tragic data. Target Q and deceased. Bon. A gasped. Standing at the mountain's base, a mysterious violet aura began to envelop him. A faint light bathed Q An's remains, his tattered cloak still fluttering in the restless wind. Van Saw's eyes widened. Wait. Is that the legendary traitor? Kyo-an. History says the hero Ding Kun slew him here. Yet he stands tall even in death. This doesn't make sense. Van Saw steadied her breath, her gaze turning sharp and analytical. This was a battlefield against both monsters and men, nothing like the propaganda in the museums. He didn't look like a man who was easily defeated. Vantriette remained silent, frowning in deep thought. Kyo Chi spoke up from behind. You probably won't believe me, but I don't think my great-grandfather was a criminal at all. He began to recount the hidden history. I studied his records. Every time the history books mentioned his battles, the details were suspiciously vague. But I found a pattern. He constantly entered dangerous zones that were far below his actual level. Why would an S-rank, level 60 hunter, waste his time in a low-tier dungeon like this? Because this place was a breeding ground for wandering lords. Those monsters are the root of cataclysms, capable of summoning entire dungeon armies into our world. Back then, the government lacked the military power to stop a full-scale dungeon break. They relied on powerful, secret hunters to cull the monsters before they could ever reach the surface. Qiu Qi's voice broke. My ancestor was one of them. He came here to stop the disaster alone. The group fell into a heavy silence, unable to find the words to respond, trembling with suppressed rage. He asked, "Do you think I'm just making this all up? Even my own family says I'm just looking for psychological comfort in old fairy tales." Vantriette placed a firm hand on his shoulder and smiled. "I believe you." The girls blushed at the gesture, while Qiu Qi stared in utter shock at Vantriette's words. A gentle breeze tossed his hair. A man like that could never be the villain they claim. A memory of a confident boy flashed by. "I don't need a master. I'm a natural genius. I'll surpass you in no time. An old-timer like you should just hurry up and retire. Under a goblin raid." The kid wailed. "Master, save me." Once patched up, he snapped. "Who asked you next time? Let me handle it. I just underestimated this dungeon's spawn rate." In a flash, the boy has grown. Spotted me already. Grinning, he pointed at himself. "Yeah. I'm the type who grinds in secret just to flex on everyone later. Chill out. This next dungeon run isn't going to be a death trap." Hauling a massive shield, Keon asked, "Why'd you pick the Sword Guard class for your job advancement?" The Sword Guard is considered the absolute weakest tier among all shield-bearing classes. He looked annoyed. "But isn't that just because you dumped all your points into raw STR and speed? You always charge in. No tank can keep up." Keon stood bloodied, leaning against his battered gear. "Old friend, I finally found you." He offered a weary, battle-scarred smile. "I get it. Leaving the party means a pay cut. But those wandering mobs forced me to level up. Save them, pass." Back in the present, Van's eyes glowed. "Bon bon. For you, the Din Guild will pay." Elsewhere, inside a lavish, high-tier manor. "Is that the truth?" the man gasped. Hoke shouted back, "It's real. Just ask the dungeon supervisor, that Vantriette. He's a total monster." He quickly briefed his father on everything. "The gatekeeper blocked me at the entrance. He said my rank was too low to enter. But when the survivors finally emerged, the rumors started spreading like wildfire." "Did you see that even from the distance?" "I watched the hidden boss collapse. The shockwave was massive. Everyone saw. That solo hunter must have taken it down. Incredible. A level 40 hidden boss. Subduing that thing is beyond human imagination." Hook's face turned pale with rage. "You mean that man was Vantriette?" "I thought Vansaw's squad was elite. But a student with that kind of power, who is he exactly?" A heavy, suffocating silence filled the room. Suddenly, a man stood up. "Mobilize the Din clan guards. We're hunting down this dungeon traitor." Huck's father intervened. "Wait. Did you say a brat from the Keon family was there too?" A sinister grin crept across his face. "In that case, let's drag the Keon family down too. Lord Din Horde. Assemble the elite guard. We strike the traitor's dungeon now." He paused, his eyes narrowing. "Wait. Was that Keon boy really accompanying him?" His expression turned dark and ominous. "Then the Keon family dies with him." Meanwhile, Vantriette summoned his system window. A golden barrier skillbook manifested. "Take this," Van said, tossing it over. "No level requirement. Learn it now." Sagaspid. "That's a legendary tier skill. You're just giving it away. It's for shield bearers. I can't use it. Besides, your ancestor mastered this exact skill." So schmirked. "I guess you aren't exactly hurting for OP skills yourself." She shrugged. "My build is high tier. But next to you, it's complete trash. Between your stealth arts and that massive undead summon, you're a walking cheat code." Von froze, her words triggering a sudden realization deep within his mind. The mirror world. Souls don't just vanish. They cross over. He stared at his hand in shock. Instantly, Van shifted into the mirror dimension. All his skills were fully refreshed. Mirror action active. Time remaining. 2959. It actually worked. Countless fragments swirled until a ghostly silhouette materialized. Bon bon. "Is that you, back in reality?" A girl tapped Sa's shoulder. "Sa. We need to move. The audience ritual starts soon." Sa hid, Things were just getting interesting here. She stood up from the cliffside. Where did that idiot Vantriette disappear to? He'd vanished without a trace. Little did she know. He was already in another world. A lone swordsman stood before him. A ghostly aura flickering ominously above his head. Boom bong. I never imagined our reunion would be like this. Vantriette muttered. His heart aching. Shadows suddenly engulfed Bonbon, warping his gentle soul into a creature of pure, feral malice. There's no turning back for you now, he whispered as the dark corruption took hold. Vantriette leaped back, realizing his friend had become a vengeful wraith. He hesitated to strike. Vantriette's eyes glowed with power, unraveling the tragic memories of Bonbon's final living moments. A vision of a younger, innocent Bonbon flickered, making Vantriette hesitate in his stance. Scraps of brutal battles flashed by the relentless struggles that had defined Bonbon's painful journey. Then, the backstab. Din Khan, why did that murderous stance look so hauntingly familiar to him? Suddenly, the sharp crack of shattering glass echoed through the desolate void of the mirror. The shards fell away, exposing the real Bonbon. What happened to you? Vantriette demanded, but the boy was gone. Driven by madness, Bonbon lunged forward with pure killing intent. Vantriette parried the desperate strike. Stop this, he cried. But the blade swung again, realizing only primal instincts remained. Vantriette knew he had to retreat from this twisted realm. System emergency. You cannot exit the mirror world from this current coordinate. Trapped Vantriette exhaled a sharp breath. Fine. If there's no way out, I'll fight through. Outside, Q-Chi stiffened as a hostile mob surrounded him. Look at this. All alone. Puppy, where's your friend? Did that coward Vantriette sniff us coming and tuck tail? Din Huck sneered at his lackeys. Half the fun is gone then. Q-Chi gritted his teeth. Drop the act. Brat. Ding Hook spat, his eyes cold, predatory, and full of malice. Didn't you and Vantriette break into my manor to steal? Don't lie to me. Think I wouldn't recognize your pathetic screams? Q-Chi's face drained of all color in terror. Din Hook raised a hand mockingly. But don't worry. I've brought some special gifts for you. Q-Chi's heart stopped. Dragged before him, bound and bruised, was his entire family. Grandpa, auntie, mom. His mother's trembling face was filled with sheer, agonizing dread. Suddenly, his grandfather bellowed. Kneel. You worthless animal. Beg the Din family for mercy. Apologize to the young master right now, Q-Chi stammered. Grandpa. I can't do that. Have you forgotten my lessons? The old man screamed. When you see a Din, you kneel. Is that it? Q-Chi snapped. Is the Q family destined to be their dogs forever? His uncle fell to his knees. Yes, we are the blood of traitors. Being dogs is mercy. Are you trying to get us killed? His aunt shrieked, her voice thin with panic. Think of your mother. Look at what your father's madness has already cost us. She reminded him of his mother's suffering. But the woman remained silent, her body shaking uncontrollably. Q-Chi went silent, then slowly pointed toward the horizon with a newfound, burning resolve. Look back. My great-grandfather entered this forbidden zone to save everyone from the great calamity. He didn't betray us. He was sacrificed. I finally have the proof of his innocence. Q-Chi's voice thundered with conviction as he looked his captors directly in the eye. The propaganda was a lie. He wasn't a traitor. He was a hero framed by monsters. A heavy silence fell over his family as the weight of his words finally sank in. Once this truth is revealed, our name will be cleared. We won't live in filth anymore. He bared his teeth in rage. The Din family has no right to treat us like slaves. Finally, he stood tall. None of them deserved this life of humiliation and constant fear. Suddenly, the Din patriarch let out a cold, booming laugh that sent shivers through the crowd. You're absolutely right. Din Hook sneered, stepping forward. Your ancestor was indeed framed before he died. Q-Chi's blood ran cold. The villain was admitting it. A dark realization began to dawn. To be blunt, my great-grandfather built our fortune by stabbing Q-An in the back. He sneered at Q-Chi's face, mocking him. Do you honestly think anyone cares about that? Old Din cackled with pure malice. Q-An is a traitor, a disgusting monster. The crowd joined in the laughter. What if I kill your mad father? He snarled. What if I end every last one of you? The descendants of traitors are all degenerate trash. He pointed a finger at Q-Chi's family. Deep down, your own family knows the truth. Fear paralyzed them, their eyes glued to the floor. Q-Chi stood frozen in shock. The villain's laughter echoed like a death knell. How do you think those missing people died? Lord Din straightened his collar. Now. Kneel, trembling with terror. The entire family dropped to their knees before him. His mother cried out in desperation. She. Please, just apologize. Resistance is useless. Tears streamed down her face. Your father is already gone. I can't lose you too. Rage boiled in Qiuqi's veins. He remembered his mother's radiant smile from the past. Ignore them. Qi. You're the best of us. Suddenly, another hunter burst out laughing. Din Hook snapped. Losing his patience, he launched a heavy kick. Know your place. Dog kneel. Asterisk thud times. Qiuqi's hand shot out. Blocking the strike with cold precision, he seized the leg, slamming the bully down. I'm done kneeling to trash like you. Din Hook spat on the ground, drawing his blade. Got some guts. Huh, attacking me? He lunged forward with a murderous roar. I'll remind you why you're just a punching bag. But Qiuqi didn't flinch. A massive straight punch exploded against the villain's jaw. Din Hook recoiled, his mind reeling. What? How is this possible? Qiuqi summoned his shield, eyes blazing. Mother. Look, we are the true descendants of heroes. The Din Patriarch's face twisted in fury. Din Hook clutched his face. Humiliated and broken. How? How did a degenerate like you get this much power so fast? Losing all reason. Din Hook charged again. You were born to be my punching bag. He swung wildly. But it was futile. Qiuqi crushed him, slamming his face into the pavement. Qiuqi looked down with icy eyes. That weakling you knew, he died a long time ago. Meanwhile, in the Mirror Realm, Vantriette faced the full might of Bonbon. The system hummed as he braced his shield. A legendary clash was about to begin. Vantriette analyzed the battlefield instantly. If he wasn't a tank-class hunter, and if he had his consciousness, I'd be dead. He leaped back, maintaining tactical distance. He dodged the onslaught with lightning speed. Every move you have. I taught you myself, he countered, targeting every hidden weakness. Yet, Bonbon's defensive stats were off the charts. Level 60+ protection was no joke. Even Mirage Blade barely scratched his HP bar. Suddenly, a sea of flames erupted. Bonbon unleashed a devastating AoE attack. Golden Shield Vantriette roared, activating his legendary skill to negate the inferno. A massive explosion rocked the Mirror Realm. Back outside, the real-world battle reached its peak. You, hybrid trash, the bully screamed. Qiuqi blocked the strike with his shield. He countered with a thunderous slap, then rained down a brutal combo before the crowd. The Din Patriarch's aura flared with killing intent. Pathetic. Can't even beat a Qiu brat. The old monster stepped forward, eyes cold. Allow me to end this farce for you, with godlike speed. His fist collided with Qiuqi's shield in a shower of sparks. A blinding light erupted as a golden barrier formed. The Golden Shield, a legendary tier skill. Qiuqi stared him down from within the light. Stay out there and watch. Old man, your hero guild is nothing but a den of cowards. He unleashed a blinding burst of power. Vantriette leaped high in the Mirror Realm. Legendary skills ignore basic stats. Victory is mine. Vantriette plummeted instantly, provided it avoids double limit strikes. It withstands 10 consecutive hits. A radiant golden aura erupted. Fueled by his rapidly draining mana, the golden barrier flickered and fractured. Even a graze drained its power. Suddenly, it shattered. Once the energy bottomed out, 10 cumulative strikes would finish it off. You little brat, think that golden shield saves you? He sneered. Qiuan's trash skills are nothing. Qiuqi refused to back down, shouting fiercely, if my ancestor were here, you'd be begging for mercy. Enraged, the elder unleashed a full-scale assault. Qiuqi raised his shield while Din Hook was shoved forward. Relying on a low-tier dungeon failure, the elder mocked. The Din clan leader stomped the ground, his eyes cold. Let him come. The earth shattered upward, a gravity strike. He'll be the one kneeling next, he growled. Qiuqi's body was torn apart. Blood sprayed from his mouth as he collapsed, brandishing his weapon like a demon. He sneered. Let's see you stand once I hack off your legs. He lunged to strike, but his mother rushed out. Please. Clan leader Qiuqi is just a child, spare him, she sobbed, falling to her knees. I'll do anything you want. Just let him live. The elder grinned cruelly. Fine. Kid. Kneel now. Or I'll cut your mother down right here. He paused, then laughed. Actually, I've got plenty of people left to slaughter. Din swung his blade, desperate. Qiuqi screamed. Wait, stop, I'll do it. Suddenly, a massive shockwave erupted, obscuring everything in dust. The crowd gasped in pure shock. Din froze as a spectral phantom emerged. Is that Qiuan? He stammered. Grandfather Qiu Qi's mother gasped. Qiu An has returned from the grave, others cried in terror. Impossible, how can a dead man walk among the living again? Qiu Qi's family realized the truth, he looked more like an undead. Vantriette's voice echoed, you all mocked him. Standing beside the undead Qiu An. He added. Now he's crawled back from hell to settle the score. Every hunter present stared in disbelief at the terrifying undead standing before them. Din barked a laugh. Just a cheap trick. Kill them all, charge. His subordinates roared, swinging their weapons wildly. They struck the undead's shield with everything they had, surrounded by enemies. The spectral figure stood firm, showing no signs of weakness. Attacks rained down from all sides. Qiu Qi's grandfather was stunned. Is that truly Qiu An's power? Witnessing the legendary technique. Qiu Qi's eyes widened in pure awe. That parrying skill. He was blocking multiple elites simultaneously. Is this your summon? Din spat. My family has summoned trash like this by the dozens. Din laughed, checking his stats. Only level 33. Just another small fry. He leaped for a killing blow, but upon impact, a dark, viscous slime clung to his blade, radiating pure malice. Din blinked, confused. Their mana signatures collided violently as he focused energy into his fist. He swung again, roaring. Absolute power crushes everything in its path, instantly. The counter-summon skill triggered upon impact, confident. The clan leader charged, but a cold golden light sent him flying. Another diamond shield. Vantriette mocked, even as an undead. He's S-rank. That shield will keep you busy for a long time. Enraged, he ordered his men. Everyone attack, drain its energy until it shatters. He turned to his men but froze. His soldiers were already being swarmed by a legion of skeletons. Chit. How annoying. The clan leader hissed, beginning his body fortification. Red flames erupted across his body, blazing rage. Undead or not, they're just summons to be burned. He surged forward like a meteor, aiming directly for Vantriette. If the summoner dies, the summons vanish. His hand transformed into a razor-sharp demonic claw. He sneered, relying on the high-tier artifacts gifted by his ancestor. To him, a mere degenerate stood no chance. Suddenly, Vantriette flickered and vanished, completely unscathed. The family head gasped, his mind racing to comprehend the void. How was he untouched? The old man unleashed a frantic barrage. But Triette remained a ghost, dancing through the chaos. His eyes widened in pure shock. The target had completely disappeared from his perception. Vantriette materialized above him like a reaper, driving his blade deep into the old man's back before he could react, screaming. The villain detonated his mana to blow Triette back. Triette simply glanced at Qiu An, whispering, Bon bon. The undead drew its blade instantly. Triette launched off the sword's edge, delivering a devastating horizontal slash through his foe. The old man spat curses, trembling with rage. But Triette was already circling back with godlike speed. With a cold gaze, Triette unleashed a flurry of strikes. 10 rapid slashes carved through the air, leaving the villain howling. My arm, he shrieked. Watching his severed limb fall into the dirt, terror gripped him as he scrambled back, screaming for a priest. But before the healing light could shine, Triette reappeared, desperate. The villain triggered Gravity Smash, forcing jagged earth to erupt from the ground in a frantic defense. Get lost, he roared. But Triette vanished again, flickering through the battlefield like a haunting afterimage. Triette stared him down, his voice freezing. Scared yet, the villain ignored him, desperately shrieking for his missing healer. Across the field, the priest was already a corpse, silenced forever by the relentless undead. One by one, his elite guards fell, littering the ground. The old man trembled, stammering. When did this? Standing among his summons, Triette scoffed. Did you think my undead were still as weak as when they served you? Activating reverse evil possession. Triette let out a chilling smirk. Under a legendary tier skill, they far outclass standard guards. These items dropped from the Wandering Lord himself. His face turned a sickly pale green. Panic set in as the family head turned to flee, cursing his luck. Suddenly, massive blades slammed into the earth, sealing his path. Every escape route was blocked by cold steel. Reality finally crashed down on the family head. He turned back, his face a mask of absolute terror. Colossal figures rose from the trembling earth. In his possession state, Triette invoked his class skill Blade Shield Array. He approached slowly, each step echoing like a death knell. No one below S rank escapes this domain. Try if you want. Desperate, The villain pulled out a hidden trump card. "Stay back," he yelled. "This is a void bomb. An S-rank item from my father. One blast and your low-level HP is deleted." Vantriette didn't blink, his expression remaining hauntingly calm. Vantriette spoke with icy indifference. "Then detonate it." The old man froze, his voice cracking. "Are you insane? My stats are high enough to survive. But even if you kill Bonbon, I can just resurrect him again." Still under the effects of the possession, Vantriette moved with blinding speed, appearing behind him. "As for you, your arm won't be fast enough to trigger it." A single flash of steel severed the villain's remaining arm. The void bomb tumbled away. "Kneel," Vantriette commanded, without limbs and stripped of pride. The man collapsed into a silent, pathetic heap of terror. Qiuqi cheered at the sight, while Din Hook, beaten into a bloody mess, watched through tears of agony. Vantriette ground his heel into the man's back. "Tell me," he mocked, "do you have any value left at all?" Vantriette opened his inventory to check the spoils. There were piles of loot, including hundreds of health potions. He scanned the item description. Health potion. Restores 100 HP over 10 seconds. Effects do not stack. Even if you chugged these, your recovery speed is a drop in the ocean compared to my damage. Vantriette glanced at the undead as the final blow was dealt. The villain's fate was sealed. He recalled the moment of death. The man's soul had been successfully harvested into the mirror world. Vantriette realized the truth. Killing powerful enemies was the ultimate way to farm high-tier undead for his army. He looked at Din Hook, who was foaming at the mouth in total psychological collapse. "I'll spare him for now," Vantriette mused. "He might be a useful pawn later." Qiuqi's family watched, stunned by his power. The father looked at his son, realizing the profound change. "Was it this boy who guided our son? He's become so strong," the family whispered. Yet a shadow of worry remained about the storms to come. Panic seized him. The third master is dead. The Dings will retaliate. "We're finished." His terror grew. No matter how strong that kid was, challenging a legendary hero meant certain death. That hero slew my grandfather decades ago. Imagine how monstrously powerful he is now. Yunche realized the gravity of the situation. If this exposure breaks, my window for leveling up vanishes. To face a monster like Ding Kun, I must ascend. I need power. And I need it fast. Just then, the system window chimed. Level up successful. Surprised already, without hesitation, Yunche commanded his undead summons to move out. Farming with summons was proving efficient. The undead began their systematic slaughter of the local monsters. With their current gear and ranking, these undead spirits could easily dominate this entire dungeon. Monsters fell like wheat. This secret realm was becoming too small for Yunche's rapid evolution. Watching through the eyes of his summon, Joan, he began to strategize. There was a deeper motive for sending them. Suddenly, Joan located the dungeon's hidden boss. In a flash, the undead lunged, launching a devastating surprise strike at the beast. This wasn't just any boss. This field lord was the very core of the entire secret realm. Joan activated Sword Shield Domain. Killing this core meant absolute conquest. The dungeon would simply cease to exist. Outside, guards blocked the exit. The Qiao family's forced entry under Ding III hadn't gone unnoticed. If they left now, suspicion would fall on them instantly. Therefore, conquer the realm. Make it vanish. Use the resulting chaos as a smokescreen for their escape. Joan unleashed a relentless barrage against the dungeon's guardian. Without a dungeon, the Dings couldn't confirm the murder. Time bought. Level up confirmed. System boss defeated. Conquest complete. The secret realm is closing. Panic flared among the group. The realm is fading. Yunche approached them calmly. Chaos is our ally. The Dings won't react fast enough to his disappearance. He turned back. Escape through the confusion. You'll be safe for now. His eyes were chillingly steady as he spoke. If they press you, blame me. They stood stunned as the world dissolved. Summons retracted. Suddenly, the mirror world progress bar flashed. His eyes widened in shock. Massive stat gains and rare drops flooded his inventory. Interesting. So, to reach mirror world level 3, I must hunt down dungeon bosses. The last evolution gave me an incredible power spike. One more upgrade, and I'll finally close the gap with Ding Kun. Outside, the guards stood stiff. One sigh hid. Is this much security really necessary? Who'd dare trespass in a private dungeon? Let's just play cards instead. Behind him, a shadow moved. Yunche slipped past. Silent as a ghost, the guard shivered. Glancing back. Wait. Did someone just walk past me? Pure imagination. Yunche moved ahead. Level 30 guards were no match for his current stats. He advanced effortlessly, cutting through the shadows like a blade, step by step. The realization hit. It's almost time. Panic rippled behind him. Revenge was within reach. But he had to maintain control. Not yet. As he tore through monsters, his mind remained cold and focused. Stay calm. Levels climbed steadily. One mistake would ruin everything. Slay. Level up. Defeat the Lord. Ascend again. His progression was unstoppable. After the final kill, he stared at the sky. The storm was coming. Headlines screamed, series of private dungeons maliciously conquered by unknown hunter. Skill points from Mirror World exploded 5,000 points per clear. His power surged endlessly. A new headline breaks. A mysterious dungeon saboteur is aggressively seizing private hidden realms. High-ranking investigators have been deployed as the authorities declare a citywide emergency. Hiding out. The Q family gasps at the report. Is Vantriette behind this chaos? Grandpa Q realizes the truth. He conquered those dungeons just to draw the heat from us. Panic sets in. If the Ding clan connects the dots, they're all dead meat. He sacrificed his anonymity, becoming a public enemy just to secure our escape route, deep in their safe house. After the Q brothers finally let out a heavy breath of relief, we're miles away from the Ding clan's reach. Our tracks are completely erased. They celebrate their newfound freedom, believing the nightmare is finally over. Finally, we're safe. The Ding family can't reach us in this sanctuary. Boom, a violent explosion rocks the building, shattering their brief moment of peace. Safe, you thought you could run Ding how? The clan's second master steps through the smoke. He sneers with pure contempt. Did you think we were only hunting that one criminal, even without your connection to him? Deserting our family is a death sentence. His aura flares. You degenerates really underestimated the reach of an heroic clan. He steps over the rubble. Traitors always harbor such pathetic, delusional hopes. We've already locked onto his signal. Meanwhile, Vantriette arrives at the formidable hero's gate. Level 42 attained. Vantriette's eyes burn with cold resolve. Ding Khan. It's time. I'm coming for you. To level up further, low-tier private dungeons are no longer enough. Only high-ranking heroic zones provide the XP needed to shatter his limits. But these gates are military fortresses. Not even a fly gets in undetected. His mirror realm range is limited. He needs an insider to bypass the security grid. Vansaw smirks playfully. So, you want me to be your secret key inside, without a high-tier pass? Even my influence can't get us through those sensors. Vantriette wordlessly reveals 2 golden passes. Vansaw's jaw drops in shock. You were ready. An unregistered hunter holding temporary military clearance. Why risk a suicide mission into the Ding clan's most guarded territory? You saw the truth in that traitor's dungeon. Q-An isn't who they say. I'll clear her name and force the hero to face the truth. Help me. Vansaw sighs, her skepticism showing. Do you take me for a fool? Risking my life for Q and you even infiltrated the Ding manor before this. Did you predict all of this when you stole those high-tier passes? Elder Ding vanished while hunting you. The blood on your hands is obvious. She leans in, whispering. You don't want a confession. You want a massacre. Vantriette. That surname. Are you a remnant of the great traitor's bloodline? He shrugs with a chilling calm. You're a Van too. Does that make you a traitor? I'm nothing like him, she shouts, her eyes clouding with a sudden, sharp sorrow. Van is just a mask I wear to hide from a world that won't let me be. He smirks. Then what makes you think Vantriette is my real name? Watch your tone. One alert, and the military will erase you from existence. He lowers his head in silence. When he looks up, his gaze is unbreakable. I trust you won't. Because you actually have a soul. Vansa freezes. He steps into her space. A teacher who protects her students won't serve a monster. He hands over a stolen diary. Read the truth about Ding Khan's heroic legacy. They prey on the weak while the world cheers. Today, the system crashes. Vansaw sneers, clutching the book. All this for a book. You're delusional. She doesn't care about these relics. You play the stoic card. Yet you recklessly handed your life over to her. Are you truly that naive? Or have you just never tasted betrayal? Vantriette muses. Betrayal. Huh. Vansaw crosses her arms. Hesitant. Vantriette bows his head, his cold expression masking his thoughts. Whether I have or haven't doesn't matter. My past hasn't killed my ability to trust. He strides forward, leaves swirling in the tense air. I believe her core isn't twisted. Vansa pals. Sweat beating. And yet, you're far from being a saint yourself. If you trust her that much, follow her. See if I backstab you. She storms off. He follows. She bites her lip, glancing back. She never expected someone to actually label her as good. A hero has been waiting for days. Is that you? Lady Saw. Orders say Lady Van Saw has direct entry. But where is the Elder's personal guard? The Elder just entered the dungeon. Is that cloaked figure your new shadow? Van Saw's voice turns to ice. Don't question me. The Elder warned of stolen passes. Stay sharp. Is this an interrogation? The guard flinches. Of course not. My lady, my apologies. Internal security warns of a high-tier criminal targeting this hero's dungeon recently. Van Saw smirks inwardly, glancing at Vantriette. The guard is just following protocol for her safety. She exhales. Relieved, the focus shifted from her to the guard's identity. She whispers, sensing suspicion. She grabs Vantriette's neck. Fine. Let them check him. Does he think she's blind to her own guard? Maybe you should investigate me too then. The guard turns ghost white. I wouldn't dare. If Lady Saw says he's clean. He's clean. Enter. She walks in with her head held high. He follows like a silent ghost. Inside the secret realm, Vantriette is stunned. Her influence is far greater than he anticipated. Van Saw speaks firmly. I brought you in because of your trust. Do what you must, but I won't help further. Vantriette summons a puppet. Thanks. Take this. It'll provide your alibi. Van Saw grits her teeth, eyes narrowing. At least you've got a shred of conscience. As her silhouette fades, a system window flashes. Mirror World is now fully operational. Mirror World. Level 3. Unlocked. Expansion complete. Anchor points established within the secret realm. Vantriette ponders. Level 3 allows him to replicate real-world dungeon monsters perfectly. Now I can grind hidden stats in the Mirror World without drawing any unwanted attention. He steps out. Alert, you have exited the Mirror World. Perfect. Even while I'm out here, my undead summons stay behind to farm EXP for me. A massive fortress built inside a dungeon. Time to scout this place out. A magnificent castle rises amidst sharp spires. A silent, mystical monument hidden in the forest. His gaze is sharp despite the chaos. The Din records place Din Khon right here. Din Khon is a ghost. An S-rank hunter from decades ago who vanished from the rankings to kill a ghost. I need better intel. Only then will I have the upper hand. In his past life, every S-rank was a celebrity. Yet this man remained a total mystery. Why appear now? Vantriette turns to his summon. Do you recognize him? Bonbon stares blankly before wandering off. Vantriette sighs. Still no reaction. Mirror World Level 3, boosted undead intelligence. But Bonbon still lacks basic communication. Maybe at level 4 or 5. He'll finally regain his consciousness and speak. Inside Sa Hoa Castle. Tempers flare. We can't just stand by while the third brother is missing. Din An approaches Din Khon's throne. His trail has gone completely cold. Security reports that the target is bold enough to strike near the hero's dungeon. Din Khon rises silently, his gleaming armor reflecting a cold, murderous intent. He's still rambling. To kidnap the third effortlessly. He must have reached S rank already. Seeking a job advancement. Suddenly, a hand pierces Ding An's chest. Blood splatters everywhere. Ding Kun snarls, old and useless. You can't stop a kid. Don't tell me how to work. His eyes widen in shock. Face turning deathly pale. A cold light flashes in the old man's gaze. This kid just hit S rank and triggered a class change quest. He won't survive a single blow from me. He only kept that piece of trash alive to babysit his precious grandson. Now I've lost my man and have to clean up his mess. Without him, I've lost family and years of my life. Arrogantly, Ding Yan sits atop a fallen man. Looking down like a king, he orders wolves to feast. Rob them. The pack's growls send a little girl into hysterical tears. Ding Nyan sneers. No leftovers. A cloaked figure approaches young master. Your pets are starving. Why not? In the shadows, Vantriette watches everything. His patience wearing thin, restrained outside the secret realm. His eyes turn feral. A lethal killing intent begins to leak. Sensing something, Vantriette turns. Bonbon is erupting with uncontrollable, blazing fury, wrapped in dark aura. A low voice whispers, even in this state, you still want to save them. Back in the Genius Zone, you and Lan Kan were the kindest and strongest of all. That's why you took them as disciples. You trained them to be heroes, hoping they'd help others. But I ruined you instead. I turned you into this monster. Suddenly, Bonbon speaks Lan Kan. Vantriette freezes. What did you just regain consciousness? Bonbon struggles to say, Lan Kan is Ding Kun. Vantriette's eyes widen in absolute horror. Elsewhere, Ding Kun hears the name Vantriette. He scoffs at the obvious provocation. with a sinister grin. He thinks, let's see who dares to impersonate my dear master. Meanwhile, Ding Nian dotes on his monsters like they're precious, innocent babies. I was busy with others. So you must be hungry. He points crazily at the injured civilians. Children wail beside their bleeding parents. Helpless against the impending slaughter, Ding Nian commands, I'm bored of these toys anyway. Devour every last one of them. The beasts lunged at the innocent, but a flash of steel sliced through the air. Vantriette emerges. The bringer of judgment. With cold contempt, he stares at his blade. Heart torn. Lan Can. How did you become Ding Kun? How could you fall this far? A guard shields Ding Nian, shouting, you dare trespass in a hero's territory, seek death. Vantriette is stunned. Could the boy he raised really have created this human scum? Memories flood back. Classes and systems rule now. The era of true knights is dead. As a descendant of knights, I wanted to pass on the legacy of honor, under my tutelage. Your strength will surpass any ordinary awakened hunter. To learn from me, you must remember first. Humility. You are no better than anyone else. Be polite and respectful. When a spoiled child acted out, Vantriette disciplined him with a firm strike. Then, he offered other rewards as encouragement, teaching them the value of growth. Back to reality. Vantriette slaughters the beasts. The mage screams, that attack power is impossible, but his face remains ice cold. Fueled by a deep, smoldering rage, he curses his lost level 30 gear. Ding Nian yells, show this peasant the difference in our tears. Undaunted, Vantriette charges forward like a demon unleashed from the depths. He recalls the second knightly virtue, compassion. A true hero protects the weak. Be kind to the helpless. Fight against violence and injustice with a merciful heart. He saved them from slavery. Having been hurt, they should understand the pain of the weak. In the present, the villain sneers, enjoying shadowboxing. I have plenty more for you to cut. Vantriette's eyes burn with a lethal mixture of pure agony and vengeful hatred. Ding Nian kept taunting, always wearing that pathetic, angry face. Aren't you? Is it for these peasants? How tragic. Imagine killing them yourself by mistake. Simultaneously, Yunche's blade surged with an overwhelming, destructive power. He charged with pure killing intent. The enemy gasped. How? Did you see me? Yunche recalled the code 3, a hero must be fearless and brave. Inside the dungeon. Never retreat, fight for justice. The elders had screamed in terror. He replied coldly. Don't worry. I've been watching over you the whole time. Wounded. Ding Nian shrieked. He's too strong, use your damn illusions. You degenerate. Block him, buy me time to escape or my grandfather will execute you. The cornered mage hissed. My spells won't trigger, a caster is useless like this. Panic set in. Where did he go, suddenly? Yunche appeared right behind him, with cold, sharp eyes. He struck. The mage fell, begging. Please. Have mercy. Go after Ding Nian, leave me alone. But Yunche's spirit remained unyielding. Suddenly, Ding Nian returned, screaming in rage. What the hell are you? I'm a hero's grandson, touch me, and your whole family dies. He trembled violently. Yunche ignored the threats. Rule 5, the protagonist must always be honest. The rules flashed by 6 justice. 7. A hero's sacred honor. 8. The soul. Countless spectral blades erupted, finally silencing the chaotic battlefield. Ding Nian fell. Yunche glared at Lan Can. You betrayed every single lesson. Worse, you let your bloodline rot into these entitled, evil monsters. Why? Ding Kun appeared behind him, smirking. My dungeon holds many secrets. Boy. The scenery shattered into chaos as explosions rocked the entire chamber. Yunche coughed up blood, desperately regenerating his depleted mana. Just tell me why. Ding Kun approached in haunting silence. Suddenly, Yunche pulled out hidden gear. A mirror. Ding Kun muttered. In a flash, Yunche moved like lightning. A punch fueled by rage connected. Why did you betray us? The mask cracked. Impressive. He chuckled. Breaking my armor. You're no ordinary hunter. Are you? Yunche's gaze turned icy with hatred. His body shook with pure disbelief. Lan Can. Why the betrayal? Ding Kun paused. How do you know that name? Did that old man send you? He launched a vicious, hate-filled counterattack. His strikes were lethal and precise. Pretending to be my master, how pathetic. Yunche roared. Answer me, Ding Kun sneered. You're just a tool. Shut up. The atmosphere trembled as massive amounts of energy collided violently. Rocks floated in the gravity-defying chaos. Yun-Che scanned the area. Where is he? Suddenly, the summon blocked a lethal blow. Ding Kun's eyes widened in shock. They clashed head-on. Ding Kun landed a heavy blow. How are you still alive? The summon shielded itself with golden light. Ding Kun's aura burned with murderous intent. He hissed in pure disgust. Realizing the truth. An undead, a mere zombie. Infinite resurrections mean nothing for a puppet without a soul. What a waste, the Ding brothers sneered. We'll handle this trash. Yun-Che's killing intent exploded. He summoned his undead army. Stop them. Leave no one standing. Ding Kun froze. His face turning pale. That face. No. It can't be. My own son. Dead. His grief twisted into a dark, sick fascination. As Ding Kun lunged, Yun-Che evaded with impossible grace. The man went berserk. Prove it then. Master, show me you're the teacher I once loved. Ask anything. I'll hide nothing from you. Yun-Che's blade pulses. Answer me now. Why this Ding Koi mocks? For your master. Who freed you? Who gave you this power? I taught you better. No. You were late. Why let me suffer before saving me? Why does a knight's son get everything? Why is Bonbon better than me? Is he cleaner? You forced this berserker class. Am I a coward? Why not a tanker? Yun-Che Gladys. I never favored him. You wanted strength. No. You loved him. I worked harder. Were you biased? You regret me. Your virtue is trash. Your kindness is just a status flex. I won't waste time saving people like him. Betrayal. I just chose a better master. Laoi offered me real, absolute power. My bloodline rules yours. You're just slaves. Look at us. I'm the winner here. You monster. Yun-Che fires glass shards. After images blur. Yun-Che strikes from shadows. A heavy punch lands. Ding Koi's armor shatters. You aren't fit to touch his feet. He sneers. His steps crushing the earth. Armor gone. Hidden berserker trait. Activated. System ATK plus 300%. SPD plus 200%. Low HP scaling. He longus. Admit your favoritism. Master. Warning berserker. Frenzy triggered. Power surging. Speed up. Defense down. Logic lost. Yun-Che realizes he's in mortal danger. Hiding in mirrors. Coward space itself tears. Skill blood rain dance activated. No escape. Crimson rain falls. Forcing Yun-Che out. Face me. Where's your knight's courage? He's a demon. HP moat. Power infinite. Morality is for the safe. You know nothing. A pampered noble can't understand my pain. A lethal strike misses by a hair. Your friends are a lie. You're alone. Skill blood burst blade. Destruction erupts. Yun-Che collapses. Status near death. Pathetic. Without mirrors. You are nothing. D like a dog in my reign. Yun-Che lungus. His final strike. Blocked. You've gone soft. Kid. That's the price of naivety. Consider this a painful lesson in reality. Vantriette lunges with his dagger. But the blade is caught effortlessly. Betrayal is the ultimate catalyst for growth. From the peak of glory to the dirt. The fall must taste like bitter ash. Doesn't it? Vantriette summons a second blade. But Ding Koi's raw power shatters his momentum instantly, while Laoi sits on a throne of gold. You're just a degenerate traitor, crawling in the mud, with a sickening crack. Ding Koi destroys the weapon. Tell me. Does the jealousy burn? He cackles as the lifeblood drains away. You're running out of time and blood. Your life hangs by a thread I control. Kneel. Confess your sins. And beg for mercy. Spill the secret of resurrection. And I might keep you as a pet. Yet. Vantriette refuses to stay down. I was a fool. Saving you from that slave cage was my greatest mistake. Level up. Ding Koi freezes, as he witnesses an impossible recovery. The system window flickers to life. I thought leading from the front earned respect. I thought honor meant something. I was wrong. System haste aura activated. Cost 50 MP. Duration 60 seconds. Buff movement speed plus 30% for all allies within a 30-meter radius. Chivalry is for the dead. Skill demonic possession activated. For trash like you. I don't need morals. Rage blazes in his eyes as he charges. A storm of steel and fury. He rains down blows. A desperate, frenzied assault aimed at shattering Ding Koi's arrogance. But the veteran counters. Regaining control. Allow me to show you how a real hunter fights. He wears a twisted grin. I thought you were a dual wielder. Turns out you're just a butcher. In a real dungeon. Using unfamiliar traits is suicide. You've forgotten everything I taught you. Blinded by vengeance. Vantriette suddenly flickers out of existence. A high-tier blink. He reappears like a ghost, driving a heavy blow into Dinkoi's exposed spine. How? All the mirrors are shattered. Then it clicks. The blood on the floor. He stepped right into it. In this tower, any reflective surface can become a gateway. Your trick is out. Boy. Now you're cornered with nowhere left to run. He laughs, thinking the threat is over, until a cold blade pierces his chest from behind. He staggers, coughing up crimson. Since when did you degenerates learn to strike from the shadows? Vantriette summons his undead army. Honor is a luxury you don't deserve anymore. Necromantic array deployed. Vantriette watches coldly. Just die already. It's the only thing you're good for. Dinkoi's aura explodes. I crushed you 60 years ago. And I'll do it again. His laughter is manic. The berserker trait. The more I bleed, the more my power scales. Vantriette lands a crushing blow. His eyes narrow. He's found the fatal flaw. I see it now. Your opening is wide open. Dinkoi erupts in a blind rage. A berserker class has two fatal flaws. First, your defense is pathetic. The heavy blade whistles through empty air. Vantriette's mockery cuts deeper than any sword, to max out attack and speed. You sacrificed your durability stats. You're a glass cannon. Dinkoi stands drenched in blood, his HP bar flickering dangerously into the red. Your skills are double-edged. Even my lowest tier summons can tear through your paper-thin armor. A roar of pure fury erupts, shaking the very foundations of the dungeon. Low-tier trash, maybe. But here's your second weakness. You have zero area of effect skills. He swings wildly, his blade leaving a trail of cursed crimson energy in its wake. Before your awakening, Whirlwind Slash was your only hope. Now, you're just flailing. He glances back at the horde of Azure monsters rising from the shadows. My MP regen is limitless. My undead legion will bury you before you can blink. Dinkoi's face contorts. Who said I was out of tricks? Witness my ultimate skill. Vantriette signaled, and the summons ascended. Your fatal flaw, having no one left to trust. His blood-stained blade gleamed. You and Bonbon were a perfect duo, covering each other's gaps. But now, the shield that guarded you has become the blade that slays you. A throne built on betrayal leaves a man utterly alone. Doesn't it? He ignored Ding Kun's fury. Is this the miserable end you desired? Ding Kun lashed out, but Vantriette dodged easily. Friendship, loyalty, worthless garbage, the old man screamed. You were dead. I've ruled with absolute power for 60 years, he roared. He lunged forward. I was right. A true king needs no comrades. Children, where are you? Come and kill this pest, he bellowed. They emerged, trembling. My bloodline is my army. They will die for me. Vantriette flickered behind him. A flash of steel, and Ding Kun's arm hit the ground. A guttural scream echoed. His sons froze in pure terror. Father. Defeated by this monster, Ding Qian stammered. Stop him. Heal me, Ding Kun shrieked. But his sons hesitated, paralyzed by fear. How can we fight him? Ding Kun stared. Betrayed by his own flesh and blood, their cowardice ignited his rage. Fine, I'll finish this myself. He seized Ding Tan by the throat. Father. What are you doing? You exist only for me. Your lives are my fuel. How dare you defy me? He glared at his other sons. Kill him now, or join your brother in death. His murderous intent swept through the room like a cold wind. Suddenly, monsters swarmed. Blue mana beams blasted Ding Kun into a state of panic. He howled as a crimson explosion of power leveled the battlefield. Among the shifting rubble, Ding Kun gasped for air, his strength failing, running out of breath. You're just a hollow old man beneath that mask. Enjoy this family reunion. Ding Kun realized his son was now an undead puppet. Vantriette's laughter was cold as he chased the fleeing coward. No escape today. The first strike landed. For my comrades, then came the second. For my master, the third blow sent Ding Kun coughing blood. Grabbing him by the hair, he hissed. You had everything, yet chose ruin. Vantriette looked down. Now, they only feel pure, unadulterated hatred for you, wrought in the dead end of your own making. The finality was absolute. 60 years ago, a memory of 3 friends reunited. S-rank hunters. Your master has prepared something special for you. I used every rare material to forge these mythical tier weapons. Lan Kan gripped his new saber, eyes wide with awe. This is the peak of gear for your current level. Vantriette explained. Lan Kan swung the blade expertly. It's perfect, thank you. Master, next. He handed a heavy shield and blade to Bonbon, a set forged for your new class. You'll master it in no time. The young hunter stared, overwhelmed by the sheer value of the gift. Hey! Lan Kan. Why the long face? Bonbon asked. He pointed at Vantriette's old sheath. Master. Isn't your weapon Outdated, Vantriette drew his blade with a soft smile. It's eternal. The flowing cloud sword erupted with power. Then, a vision of hellish magma. I once sacrificed everything for those I loved. I spent years grinding in the most dangerous hidden realms. Finally, I breached a SSS-Rank dungeon to seize the ultimate weapon forged in an ancient, primordial furnace. I stood before the raging river of molten lava and drew the blade. Back then, it was nothing more than an unformed, raw sword soul. In this world, the hierarchy is like a tower common. Rare, epic, legendary, and the peak of power mythical. This is the only unique grade equipment in existence. As I grip it, the blade exhales white mist and a lethal, unpredictable killing intent. It requires a specialized activation ritual. Moving, like shifting clouds, ever-changing and fluid. It can morph into any weapon form I desire at a moment's notice. The weapon bonds with its master's soul. That connection is the final requirement for it to achieve its true, awakened form. I've seen it transform into a massive battle axe to slaughter a demonic tiger. Bathed in the blood of 1,000 battles. It now evolves according to my will. Yun-Che drew the sword. Staring at its cold reflection, it has adapted perfectly to my ever-evolving combat power. Hearing of its divine capabilities, Lan Kan stood frozen in shock. Is it really that god tier? Yun-Che gave a chilling invitation. Want to test its edge? Lan Kan's eyes flared with excitement. Is that really possible? A treacherous hand gripped the hilt tightly. A warrior moved to strike his own ally, while his comrades whispered in the shadows. Long live the king. Is the cleanup done? The king's orders were absolute. Frame Yun-Che for rebellion. Don't worry. There are no witnesses left. Meanwhile, on the other side of the battlefield, the traitorous warrior held the blade with a thuggish smirk. Finally, the unique grade prize is mine. He raised it high, commanding the sword to shift. The blade erupted with the dual energies of yin and yang. Suddenly, the vision shattered back to the grim reality. Yun-Che approached, radiating a suffocating killing intent alongside his loyal subordinates. I have stood at the front lines of the deadliest dungeons and never once retreated, clutching that sword. Yun-Che looked like a demon god awakened from a long slumber. No matter the dungeon rank or the hidden boss, I will conquer them all. As the weapon glowed and shifted in his hand, he continued. I only wanted a peaceful life to spend with all of you. He raised the blade, but your bottomless greed turned it into this. The system window flickered. Flowing cloud sword. Critically damaged. Stats, adaptive type. Attack plus 2,500. Spirit plus 10. Skills shapeshifting and skill evolution enabled. He leveled the blade at Lan Kan, who was groveling on the floor. The traitor trembled. Master. I was wrong, please. Yun-Che's gaze was ice. That empty title of hero, I never gave a damn about it. Lan Kan lay in a pool of blood, his physical form beginning to dissipate. Save me, don't kill me, he begged. The flowing cloud sword transformed into a soul-reaping scythe, locked onto his throat, in the hands of a degenerate like you. This legendary blade is nothing but a heavy slab of scrap metal. You betrayed me for this. The interface flashed flowing cloud sword. Heavily damaged. Strength plus 5,200. Speed and defense decreased by 50%. Bonbon stood nearby, his aura exploding with a lethal, bloodthirsty intent. Yun-Che growled. You even betrayed Bonbon. Lan Kan's eyes filled with pure terror. Master. Wait, you don't want to know. You need to know. With one lightning-fast strike, he sent the traitor's head flying. Go face the dead end you chose for yourself. Even as his head spun through the air, Lan Kan gasped his final breath. You don't want to know the truth. Behind everything, blood sprayed as the traitor fell silent. Yun-Che hoisted his massive blade onto his shoulder, his glowing eyes piercing the dark. Whatever you think you know. I realized it long ago. The scene shifted to a throne room where Yun-Che sat. Looking down at a kneeling Lan Kan, Bonbon bowed his head, confessing the entire plot. I was just the bait. Yun-Che's cold eyes calculated his next move. The road to vengeance was just beginning, and he would grow stronger than any god. A mysterious card was offered. In a world of high-level dungeons, a normal hunter can only reach level 30 in an entire lifetime. A group of shadowy, powerful figures emerged, shrouded in a veil of mystery. Even the most elite prodigies in official guilds can only dream of reaching the level 60 cap. Level 60 is the ultimate wall. A girl appeared amidst the brilliance of a class awakening, followed by another wielding a devastating dark aura. Standing behind her was a massive, summoned beast. ready to tear through the heavens. Under specific conditions. A hunter's class can evolve to a higher tier. Unlocking top-tier gear requires specific attributes and exclusive hidden stats. Only those who successfully complete their class awakening can break through the level 60 limit. Yun-Che stared intensely at the card in his palm. It was the legendary item that every hunter in the world craved. To truly transcend mortality, one must obtain this rare class advancement certification. A mysterious shadow appeared, holding a deck of these forbidden, glowing cards. Long ago, when the dungeons first opened, only 1 in 10,000 could advance. The rest were forced to kneel in the dirt. In this era, the government maintains absolute control over these items. Yun-Che gripped the glowing card, staring down Lan Kan. Among the elite hero clans, only Lan Kan held such a prize. Not a single descendant had achieved class advancement yet. The tension peaked between Lan Kan and the boy before the awakening ritual began. The gap between ranks was like heaven and earth. Lan Kan had evolved from a warrior into a savage berserker. Yun-Che watched closely as Lan Kan's presence surged, his raw power multiplying instantly. Without the mirror world, victory would be impossible. Yun-Che tapped the loot icon on his system interface. But what if he utilized the mirror world's power for his own class advancement? The system window flickered as the promotion quest synchronized. Yun-Che's eyes turned cold. How strong could he become? The icon erupted in light. The system began scanning. Spirit 65 detected. Speed 55. Power 34. Requirements met. Potential class battle dancer. Other paths like forest bard appeared. The system urged him to select a quest and begin the evolution. Yun-Che's hand reached for his blade. Flames erupted around him, his aura burning bright. His path was already set. Few spellcasters ever successfully promoted to this hidden tier. It was the only chanter class built for pure destruction. He firmly pressed the Battle Dancer option. Suddenly, a notification appeared. Apply Mirror Inversion to the Battle Dancer advancement. He hesitated. Could a class itself be inverted? A massive, glowing skill tree branched out before his eyes. Archers, shield bearers, priests, and warriors formed the lower branches of the martial hierarchy. Warlocks and rogues occupied the darker edges. Each class held its own unique, specialized destiny. A mysterious juggler class flickered a rare anomaly in the established system rankings. Hidden classes offered immense power, but their advancement quests were notoriously brutal to complete. A drum icon materialized. To unlock the Battle Dancer, specific stat thresholds were mandatory. He needed Speed 55 or higher and Spirit 65 or higher to even qualify. Most chanters lacked the balanced stats required. He also needed a rare Slaughter Blood Core. This legendary item was essential. The Slaughter Blood Core was a nightmare to obtain. A girl held a crimson crystal high. These cores only formed after a massive, bloody massacre. For a support-type chanter with no combat skills, obtaining one was a death sentence. Yun-Che remained motionless, eyes glued to the screen. This was why so few ever succeeded. Now, the mirror world began inverting the requirements. The difficulty of the quest doubled instantly. The Peace Dancer class emerged. A protector using dance and spirits to both heal and annihilate. Requirement 5. Life Nurseries. Yun-Che's expression darkened at the impossible demand. This was beyond ridiculous. He leaned back, wondering what logic governed this inverted mirror dimension. Did the system simply flip every trait to create these insane new class requirements? If it inverted everything, he'd need something like a life core instead of blood. That was a divine treasure capable of generating endless high-tier healing elixirs. Shimmering liquid appeared. Every top-tier guild would kill to possess a single life nursery. With one, a team wouldn't even need a healer. And he needed 5 of them. Yun-Che stood up. Such extreme requirements meant the resulting power would be godlike. He entered the mirror world. He initially thought leveling his mirror skills would be a slow, steady progression. Instead, he stood before a perfect copy of the Secret Realm Lord. Things were getting complicated. Beyond level 3, the mirror world contained boss-level replicas. Spectral swords rained down, skewering the monster. System level increased by 2. Yun-Che looked around. The density of souls here was far greater than before. With class inversion now possible, the secrets of this world were only beginning to unfold. He stood before another towering beast. A notification flashed, exiting mirror world. Increasing his rank was the only priority. He glanced at his summon. It's time to move out. A single blade flash cleaves the monster in 2. System level 50, boss defeated. HP 1960. Legendary items acquired. The mysterious purple mist dissolves into an eerie void. The dark sky fades, replaced by a brilliant morning sun. Chaos erupts. Why did the hero's dungeon suddenly vanish? Where is the hero suddenly? Massive structures begin crumbling. Debris falls. Could the hero's great clan be in danger? They charge in. Only to find Din Qian's lifeless body. Headlines scream across the city, the hero has been assassinated. Radio reports confirm a massacre. No suspects have been identified. The elite watch in shock. How could a hero fall? A leaked photo shows Vantriette's cold. Retreating back. Police chief. This is our only lead. Find him now. Total mobilization ordered. Every hunter must track the criminal. High King Lao Ui sneers. That arrogant brat is dead. He glares at the screen. Why did the military fail? What did your investigation uncover? The king demands coldly. Atop S-rank corpses. A hunter reports, no survivors. Sire. A mysterious object is presented as the briefing continues. Suspects identified. He says. Vansa and Vantriette. The High King sits in silence. Plotting his next move. The hunter grins. Vantriette. Let me handle this myself. Monday morning at the academy. Rumors spread like wildfire. Students whisper in shock. The news is everywhere now. Who would dare strike a hero? The world is trembling. Vansa walks past. Ignoring the terrified student chatter, she knows the truth. Vantriette actually killed Din Qian. I'm his accomplice. She realizes. Should I confess everything? Her heart darkens. Such power is beyond human comprehension. Suddenly, he appears. Vantriette walks through the gates. He remains silent. Remembering the secret life nursery. A hidden power, reserved only for the world's highest elite. Vansa stands in the light. Her secret's hidden deep. Vantriette asks what is her true identity. Exactly. He wanted to meet her. Now. The mask finally slips. She is Lhasa. Granddaughter of High King Lao Ui. Killing intent flares in his eyes. The prey is found. The king's granddaughter. He whispers. Cornering his target. Vantriette, you're back, students shout. Swarming the hero. They think he was just resting from the previous raid. You saved us from the rogue lord. You're a legend. The crowd cheers. To them, he is their absolute protector. The school plans a massive reward for his incredible bravery. Careful. A student warns. The Ding clan wants blood. The shadow of the powerful Din family looms over him. The Ding family's third master has vanished without a trace inside the hero dungeon. His kin are desperately scouring every corner of the world for him. The student didn't hold back. With power like yours, you'll be the peacekeeper's prime suspect during the interrogation. Headlines are blowing up everywhere. But for now, there's no need to let the panic set in. Everyone's blaming that dungeon saboteur from the news. I mean, even a high-ranking hero was sacrificed in the chaos. They can't imagine a student taking down a hero. But they're wrong. Vantriette is the monster they're looking for. He remained stone-faced. He knew they only suspected him because he'd infiltrated their estate using a voice mimicry technique. He'd swiped the transit pass. But without hard evidence, only the Ding family truly sensed his involvement. The student laughed. Word is the police already chased that saboteur off. It's only a matter of time before he's locked up. He tried to offer some comfort. Forcing a faint. Hollow smile from Vantriette as a mask. Relax. Vantriette. Once they catch that criminal, your name will finally be cleared of all suspicion. But behind that smile, his gaze turned lethal. Getting caught by the peacekeeping force was not an option. He recalled those soldiers, the so-called peacekeepers. They were a juggernaut. Patrolling every street with formidable, crushing power. Images of them ruthlessly hunting down the undead spirits flashed through his mind like a dark premonition, without that undead chaos as a distraction. He never would have made it back. He watched his oblivious friends laughing nearby, surrounded by ordinary students. As long as he played the part of Vantriette, his cover would remain flawless. He let out a slow breath. Staring up at the mockingly peaceful, bright blue sky above. School was the perfect place to gather intel on this era undetected. Suddenly, a student roared. This is all that damn saboteur's fault. The group grumbled in agreement. If it wasn't for that lunatic, none of us, especially Vantriette, would be under investigation. The Ding family are the real victims here. Another student added, joining the heated discussion. Exactly, a literal hero was murdered. Can you even imagine a top-tier ranker? Just gone. They spat insults, calling the act an unforgivable, demonic sin. To them, harming a hero was the ultimate act of depravity. Vantriette listened in silence. He gave a sharp, sidelong glance before turning his back on their blind ignorance. They grew up on Ding Khan's propaganda. Killing the man was easy. Shattering the lie he represented was the real challenge. Then, a whisper broke through the crowd. But have you guys heard the hero? He wasn't exactly what the textbooks say. Rumors spread like wildfire. My uncle said the entire hero dungeon setup was nothing but a twisted fraud. But he was a hero. Confusion and disbelief rippled through the group. How could they even fake something like that? It's not just a rumor, there's a video. At those words, Vantriette's eyes snapped wide with sudden intensity. A horrifying scene played out on a smartphone screen. Someone had captured hidden footage as the hero dungeon collapsed. The victims looked hollow and broken. Survivors were being dragged out, their bodies bearing the scars of unspeakable cruelty. They had been enslaved and tortured by the Ding family for years. The students turned pale. The reality was sickening. Vantriette watched, wondering if the truth would finally tip the scales. Behind him, the students erupted into frantic chatter. Is this for real? Where did you find this? How did it leak past the elite security guards? Amidst the chaos of voices, one student shouted, "It's gotta be a deep fake, pure slander against a hero." "I don't buy it," they cried. Suddenly, Van Sa stepped forward to settle the debate once and for all. "Every bit of it is true," she said coldly. "I was actually invited to that dungeon not long ago." She looked around at their shocked faces. "And believe me, what you see in that video is just the tip of the iceberg." She twirled her hair, looking away. Among the high rankers, this secret was common knowledge. The students stood frozen in terror. They exchanged panicked glances. Could such a nightmare really be the truth behind the man they worshipped? While the crowd was distracted, Van Sa suddenly grabbed Vantriette's wrist. "Move. Follow me. Right now." She pulled him into a secluded corner of the campus. "What the hell were you thinking? Coming back here? The peacekeepers will skin you alive once they start investigating. Do you think they're your only problem?" Her expression darkened with a sharp intensity. "And tell me, aren't you even a little afraid that I'll expose you?" He didn't flinch, remembering her true nature. Facing his absolute calm, Van Sa's cold expression finally buckled. She looked away, her voice tight with rage. After what those heroes did, honestly, death was too good for them. She gritted her teeth, her knuckles turning white. "Consider this a debt you owe me." Vantriette replied icily. "Don't worry, I've already calculated her next move." Yun Che's icy gaze pierced the distant horizon. Yun Sha emerged from Luo Wei's shadow. Why would his own niece help me enter the heroic realm? A lethal aura flared around him. He had seen enough of the Ding family's pathetic schemes. What is her true link to Luo Wei? Is manipulating her the key to his total destruction? They stood in heavy silence for a moment. He steeled his resolve. Focus on the objective first. The life seed, he voiced. "Do you know where it is?" Stepping forward, Yun Sha gave a cold smirk. "The source of all life essence, of course." Yun Che reached the principal's door. "System, you have entered the mirror realm." Inside, the old principal sat hunched over a mountain of ancient documents. Yun Sha's tip echoed in his mind. This old fox is hoarding a legendary world sapling. He moved toward the corner. Every life nursery in existence had been plundered by this man. Rows of shimmering nurseries appeared. Alert SSS-Rank Secret Realm, Simulated World Tree. Even Yun Che stood frozen in shock. The sheer volume of life seeds was absolutely insane.